Start the streamer. Okay, hold on. See, the intro's already fucked. The intro is already totally 100% fucked.
Why is that?
It's live. I want everyone to know this is not my fault. Okay, this is not this. You when you click the stream thing on YouTube now, it just like starts streaming 20 seconds in the past when you hit the button, and there's no way to stop it. There's no way to stop. Hey now, it's your boy PSA Sitch here with Adam Friended Forever, and today, we're going to be talking about the Oscars.
Yes, we are.
But first, we're going to talk about how Adam gets into Twitter arguments with people because he's such a big-brained individual. His IQ, his high IQ just weighs on him so heavily. He just can't bear being so intelligent.
See, not many people know that the Dunning-Kruger effect works both ways. It's actually difficult for people who have the massive brain as well. Because you just assume that everybody else is as smart as you. And you're like, why is this not making sense to these people? I don't understand.
Yes, Adam was telling me before the stream, he was like, the reason that the stream is late is because he was arguing with someone on Twitter. And he's just like, oh, it's so hard being smart because I already know all the arguments they're going to make. And I've already heard them 1,000 times. And it's just so boring. Oh, the humanity.
This was a private conversation that we were having. By the way, so just FYI, he's making me sound 10 times more terrible than I actually am. So
I think I'm making you sound 10 times better.
People are complaining about, I keep hitting refresh on the chat, but hopefully this time will work. It's like the 10th time I've done it.
Whatever. It's all fucked. You can blame YouTube. So we're looking at 35% on Rotten Tomatoes for Captain Marvel.
Oh, I was going to refresh it. It's been a long time. It might be 34 now. I tweeted it out and it was at 37, and then it went down to 36, and then it went down to 35.
Oh my God.
And now it might be at 34. Should we hit refresh together? Shall we see?
Do it.
Shall we see what's going on? Oh, no win.
Okay.
So everyone seems to be bombing the want to see on Captain Marvel because Brie Larson came out and made some derogatory comments about white men.
Right, and it's so dumb because it's like, it could be, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look, the trailers don't make it look good, but it could be good. It could be good. It could have nothing to do with social justice nonsense. And yet it's like, why are you hurting your movie before it comes out? With all this crap.
They did have one trailer where they were making, the boys, the bad guys. Like, you can't do it. You're a girl. Which, I mean, I'm sure that's still said on playgrounds across the world. But, I mean, you know how there's this thing about who it's politically correct to make the bad guy in a movie? Like during the Cold War, it was always the Russians, right? Because they were safe. Everyone hated the Russians. Now we're in a time where, like, who can you politically correctly make the bad guy?
The white male.
Yeah, the CEO is typically, the rich CEO is the bad guy.
To be fair, in Black Panther, the bad guy is a black ethno-nationalist African American.
They got around it. They found a sneaky way around it.
You see, Black Panther is really a super racist movie. That's the point of this.
From what I hear, it is.
Yes.
So again, we have the problem of I watched Black Panther periodically falling asleep and checking my phone because it seemed like a completely boring movie to me. So
well, it's because you're so intelligent that Black Panther wasn't stimulating the IQ neurons in your brain.
Oh my God.
So you had to get into some Twitter arguments while you were watching the movie in order to stay awake.
The truth of the matter is I'm so small brain that I have this social media addiction that I can't keep trying to kick. Like, I am literally just addicted to social media. So I wish that I could claim big brain privilege on this.
you gotta take Twitter off your phone. I think that's the key.
I did take Twitter off my phone, but then I discovered you could get to it through through the browser. So I took the app off, and now I'm going through the browser. Oh God,
like
it's bad. I know. First world problems.
Yes, I know. Oh, it's so troubling. Oh my God. So before we watched MovieBob, despite Sargon yelling at us to
34
to bring it on. Oh, it dropped.
I just refreshed it. 34.
Oh,
New
God.
low. You saw it right here as it happened.
We're gonna have a live counter of the number going down. But you wanted to watch a quick little clip of some guy talking to Don Lemon about the Jussie Smollett case.
Yeah, we could do that before. I mean, I feel like it's Jussie Smollett week. Everyone wants to know what we think of Jussie
Well, do you want
Smollett.
to do that? Do you want to do that first? Or you want to do the MovieBob first? Because the MovieBob video is only like what, 9 minutes, 10 minutes?
Yeah. It's your call. Let's do MovieBob first, unless you want to talk about Jussie Smollett. I don't have anything to talk about other than the Jussie Smollett story was the only big story this week.
Okay, so we'll do MovieBob first. I
wanted to do trailers of the actual Oscar movies so we could warm up. There's a lot of these that I haven't even seen the trailer for. So, and he covers all of them in the MovieBob thing.
And I said smartly that no one wants to watch 16 minutes of trailers on the fucking stream. They want to hear us pwn. You got to pwn MovieBob and SJWs and destroy them.
So we're supposed to pwn MovieBob here?
Yes.
What if I actually kind of agree with a couple things he says? Am I allowed to agree with a couple things?
That we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight so hard.
I mean, I want you all to know that I'm just playing devil's advocate here. This guy's a social justice warrior, and I hate his guts.
It's for those of you that don't know, MovieBob is the man himself who coined the infamous "no bad tactics" line. Just bad targets.
Yeah. So. See. Oh my. Yeah.
Though I think, to be fair to him, he said something like there aren't usually or mostly bad tactics or something. He kind of like made it just slightly not as terrible as it is. It's still pretty bad.
I keep trying to fix the live chat for people. I know they like the live chat correct.
No one cares about the live chat. Fuck those people.
They do, actually. So.
Okay, so we jump into it.
It's not up on my screen.
Oh, really?
The MovieBob thing? Did you put it in?
I did. What happens if you hit reload?
Let me see.
You played it on my end. It's going right now. Somehow this is your fault. If you hadn't been arguing on Twitter and opening so many tabs.
No, it's up. I got it. No, we're good to go.
Okay.
The chat thing's not working, but hopefully it'll fix itself.
Okay. The first superhero movie to ever get an Oscar nomination for Best Picture is Black Panther. How do you feel about that, Adam?
It seems par for the course. I mean, all this is rolling out from how many Oscars ago was it where the social justice warriors just lambasted the Oscars because it was all white and all male, and they just started a hate campaign against the Oscars.
Right. What year was that? That was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So Oscars so white.
So this is an ongoing.
Jeez.
This is an ongoing battle.
2015.
Okay.
Is when it started.
Yes.
Though I feel like it's bullshit because usually if there's some race relations movie like that automatically gets nominated for an Oscar.
Yes. It's got to be about the Holocaust.
Well, those are the Jews, okay?
I forgot.
We control Hollywood. We don't care about black people, Adam. We just care about our own people.
We officially have the immunity idol on this show.
That's right. I can say whatever.
We have a Jew in blackface. Oh my
It's all it's
God.
almost the ultimate combo. Are you okay? What is going on over there?
I ate an almond before the stream started.
You're gonna be like Bush. You're gonna die choking on a pretzel live on stream. Would you guys give us some super chats if Adam dies
Oh
on
my God.
stream? That's got to be worth at least a couple bucks, right?
People were giving me a hard time about the sidekick thing. And I said, I'm cool being a sidekick as long as that you don't goose me. You know, Goose from Top Gun died. He's a sidekick that died. I could die here.
There you go. You're gonna die on stream for everyone's amusement.
Oh my goodness. That's not gonna happen.
Other myriad records, including highest grossing solo superhero film, highest grossing feature by a black director, highest opening weekend gross by a predominantly black cast, and most individual instances of boring pedantic assholes on YouTube attempting to sincerely convince someone that slow tracking through a handful of frames of less than perfect CGI is definitive objective proof that one of the year's most otherwise celebrated films is in fact actually overrated. But yeah.
That's right. If you didn't like Black Panther, you're a shallow, pedantic piece of shit, says MovieBob.
What happens if you fall asleep during it? What does that make me?
We're gonna go by. But I assume that's a attack on Mahler. I don't know who else goes by these movies frame by frame. But it's just so. Oh my God! Like the fact that Black Panther made the most money out of any superhero movie. Well, he said solo movie, so I guess he's not including the Avengers, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's saying solo movie.
I found it slightly racist that they had these accents but were speaking English. I felt that. I mean, I felt that.
Aren't there some African countries like that though in real life?
I'm not sure. I guess English people. I guess English people do speak American with a funny accent, so it's not unheard of.
Yeah, but it was just laziness. I mean, they don't want to have, they're not going to have them speaking some made up language and then have people read the subtitles.
If you want an Oscar, though, you have to subtitle your movie.
Ooh, maybe that's a good point. But I found Black Panther, the movie itself, to be racist. Because it's like, you have some futuristic society. Why are they all still looking in fashion-wise and using like ancient weaponry, but like future versions of it? Like, why do they have like a laser spear?
Yeah, I think this bothered me as I was watching it too. That's kind of why I checked out.
Because I'm thinking, like, imagine if there was a secret country, a secret country that no one knew about in England that had futuristic technology. Would you expect to like show up there and then everyone to be like dressed like in medieval times, and instead of having laser guns, they have like they have lightsabers. They have swords that are just laser swords, and they still use like shields, and they still ride around on horses. Like, would anyone expect that to be future world England?
Yeah, I didn't like it. Plus, I'm a huge fan of transhumanist stuff, so they could have gone in a crazy direction.
I thought you hated trans people.
No, transhumanist.
Okay.
Transhumanist is the idea that we're all going to be robots. The movie Alita is just brilliant on this stuff.
So does that mean that you're okay with someone putting their brain in a robot body as long as it's the same gender robot body that they were born as?
They could switch it up then. I mean, then it would actually make sense, but.
In the grand back and forth of MCU versus DCEU, or whatever it's called now, Marvel got to the Best Picture stage first, points to the filmmakers, Disney, and the fan.
Do you think there are any superhero movies that should have gotten an Oscar for Best Picture?
That's a tough one. Let me think on that one.
Because I can't think of any that I would say were good enough to merit an Oscar for Best Picture. Maybe some for Best Special Effects or something, but.
I really like that TV show, The Tick. But it's a TV show. So.
I never watched it. The one with Patrick Warburton?
You haven't? Oh my God, no. It's amazing.
Okay. Well, it's on, you have to have like Amazon Prime, don't you? Something.
Get it. It's so good.
I mean, I liked the cartoon show when I was a kid.
It's hilarious. It is totally hilarious. And he plays such a good dumbass.
Right. But Patrick Warburton's amazing.
Yes.
But I know people like to throw around Dark Knight for Best Picture. And here's my problem with The Dark Knight. What was the actor's name that was the Joker who died?
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger was so amazing as the Joker that it kind of like elevated the movie, but I feel like every part of the movie that didn't have Heath Ledger in it was bad.
Yeah, I didn't like that movie much. So I liked the
Ooh,
first one a
okay.
lot better. Batman Begins. I thought that was
Yes, me too.
exceptional.
Well, I like
so.
the first movie overall better, but I think Heath Ledger was better in the second one than anyone in the first one.
Didn't
If that
X-Men
makes
have
sense.
some Holocaust stuff in it? Maybe X-Men.
The first X-Men did. It had
Yeah.
Little Magneto was in a concentration camp.
Yeah, good character development.
So you're saying X-Men 1 should have got an Oscar.
It's like
because
ancient
it had a
history now.
Holocaust scene in the beginning.
I'm just saying, when I think of, I mean the it's funny because I read up on a bunch of critical theory stuff before we began this, and if you remember from the last stream, we talked a little bit about critical theory, but I didn't know the name of it. But critical theory is this idea that we're no longer judging art on aesthetics, but we're judging it on its ability to move activism forward.
Right.
And that totally plays into this whole idea that this movie, Black Panther, is kind of an activist movie. This is the argument that this guy makes. So we're judging it on a different criteria, where you have a lot of people that are not going to agree because we're judging it on an aesthetic criteria.
We're judging the movie based on being a movie.
But then I started going back in time and thinking, well, maybe the Oscars have always kind of judged on activism, because movies like Schindler's List, I mean, is that not an activist type movie?
I wouldn't. What's the activism message in Schindler's List? Don't
Holocaust
genocide people.
Don't genocide people.
I mean, it's a good movie. It's like a moving, sad movie beyond. Like I'll bring it up when we get into later in the video, but I think Black Panther could have been a fantastic movie, but they just fucked it up.
Yeah, and all the reasons that I didn't like it are superficial reasons, which I kind of feel are on me, because like the accents really bug me.
Is saying something is boring? That's not superficial. It's boring.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's not a superficial reason. That's like a core. That's like a core problem.
Yeah. I was not entertained.
You know, and it's pretty bad because I watched Black Panther for the first time on an airplane.
You're a captive audience.
Yeah, I'm a captive. First of all, yeah, if people say like, "Oh, you couldn't watch the spectacle of visuals," like whatever, I'm totally blind to visual shit anyway. I don't
He's
care
seeing
about
it
whatsoever.
on the back of somebody's seat.
Yeah, I'm watching this movie on the. It's that's how I know it's bad. I know a movie is boring if I'm on a plane. I have literally nothing to do, and I'm watching this movie like, "Oh, this is so boring." Like, and right after I watched Black Panther, I watched Justice League. And even I thought like, oh, Justice League is slightly less boring. Is slightly less boring than Black Panther.
Boys will use these points to fight too hard about stuff that doesn't actually involve them. In all seriousness, this is a pretty big deal, though sure, it's still going to take a while before conventional middlebrow drama, probably starring a white guy, stops being the default setting for important Oscar movie, but comic book inspired Afro.
Why does he have to bring in that it stars a white guy? As opposed to just being obvious, like, okay, I have even if you took all the SJW shit out of this, there haven't been that many comic book movies that have been elevated to be like, oh, this is the fucking best movie of the goddamn year.
Yeah,
just because it's got superhero shit in it.
None, right?
Right. Like someone in the chat brought up Logan, which I thought was. And look, and you're talking to a guy who fucking loves him some superhero shit. Okay, I grew up on superhero stuff. I'm a huge fan of superhero stuff. I would love for there to have been a great superhero movie worthy of Best Picture. I would have loved for Watchmen, the movie, to be actually good.
You didn't like Watchmen?
I didn't like the Watchmen movie. I liked the comic. I didn't like the movie.
I'm gonna put Watchmen up for my Best Picture. I liked Watchmen a lot. I liked it a lot.
I'm going to in the future make a video about why the ending of the movie is stupid and why you have to have the giant vagina squid in Watchmen for it to make any sense whatsoever.
Well, I don't necessarily disagree with you there, but I am going to make a response video to that video and say how you're full of shit and point out all the places where Watchmen was awesome.
The Watchmen movie, I don't know, it's weird. I remember when
and then I will challenge you to a duel in the street.
No, we have to fight on Twitter. That's where all intellectual prowess combat is judged for the masses. But no, it's weird. I saw Watchmen the first day it came out with my girlfriend at the time, and I remember being bored by it, and I was like, why am I bored by this movie? And I think it's because the movie feels like they took all the meaning out of Watchmen and they just sucked it out, and they just had like soulless puppets like say all the lines and do the words with no meaning behind them.
That's deep.
If that makes sense.
It doesn't make sense, but I feel it. I feel it right here.
Okay, so I can be more dismissive and say it felt like a little kid putting on a puppet show version of Watchmen, where they're just reading the comic. So they're like holding up the little hand puppets, and they're saying all the right words, but they just don't get what it's about. They just don't get it. Okay, they don't get the deep intricacies of Watchmen. Okay, it's a smart story for smart people.
Didn't you see the slow motion stuff though? Oh man, it's badass. Did you see it when he like got thrown out the window? How it's like totally slowed down. He stands there in the air, like all the glass is around him. Oh my god! And then he hangs there for a second. And then whoosh, he's like down in the gutter. Oh, incredible.
I can't tell if you're joking.
No, I'm serious. Don't you know how, like, the thing that I love about modern movies is every frame is just a painting. It's just a painting. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. You actually think about these movies? Come on, Sitch. Come on.
You're right. You did a video.
Did you see when he goes in and he blows up? Like he puts his watch on and he walks in and he's like, whoa! Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good.
I forgot that you're a big Zack Snyder fan. Didn't you like that weird The Girl movie that everyone hated?
I've watched Ragnarok probably like 17 times now. My wife.
That wasn't a Zack Snyder movie. What are you talking?
No, but it's still just amazing visuals. It's totally
no.
amazing
But
visuals.
What was that girl movie he made where they have to escape from the asylum?
Oh, I hate that movie.
Oh, I thought didn't you have a video with all these visuals from that movie?
Oh, I love the visuals. Are you kidding me?
The
movie the problem is so much of it is in dreamland and it makes it's not connected. Like I actually want to do a fan cut of that movie. God, why am I spacing? Baby is the protagonist. Sucker Punch. That's the name of the movie.
Sucker Punch, yes.
Like Sucker Punch would be an amazing movie if you did a voiceover to it like Sin City. So we were inside the characters' heads, but you actually made all the dream sequences actually taking place in the real world. So you'd have to massively restructure the story. But the problem
you want it to be kind of like now I'm spacing.
Yeah, I want them to be jumping through different universes or something like that where there's real stakes. As soon as you say, okay, this is taking place in some dream, like your mind is focused on, well, what's going on in the real world? Well, all this crazy shit's happening. But all the crazy shit is the best part of the movie. Did you see the robots in that movie when the robots come into the train?
What's the Michael Cera movie?
Oh, I love that movie.
Based off the comic.
Yes, that's Scott Pilgrim. That's one of my favorite.
Scott Pilgrim,
movies.
yeah.
I've seen that 100 times.
Right, so you kind of want super bad. You kind of want Sucker Punch to be like Scott Pilgrim, where it's like kind of this mixture of fantasy and reality.
Well, you could make it real life. I mean, like they did in Spider-Verse, where they're actually going in. Well, I guess Spider-Verse didn't have different.
No, but you could have it be like Scott Pilgrim, where it's real, but like people just randomly get into real anime fights.
Yeah, that would work. That would work. I would accept that.
Lieutenant Maisel. That is a Maisel, right? Amazonal says for $2 says, "Watch your mouth, colonizer." That was such a weird line for them to say in the movie, because if Wakanda is a secret African country that wasn't colonized, and they didn't even like the rest of Africa, they weren't helping their fellow African brethren. They were like, "Fuck off! We're building an invisible wall around our country, and no one's getting in or out."
Yes, truth.
Our favorite super chatter, Darth Fagit, for $10 says, "That is not dead, which can eternal lie, and with stranger aeons, even death may die."
Pure poetry.
That sounds like it's from something.
I wonder if
H.P. Lovecraft.
I wonder if this movie wins Best Picture, if Trump will be able to spin it into something for the wall. Because it seems like he's like, okay, I've given up on the wall. Now I want the biodome.
We don't need a wall anymore. We need an invisible shield around the entire country.
Just protects us.
Keep all the Canadians out too. No one wants them. Ugh. Ragnarok Ulf Behet for $2 says, if he passes on, I'll fap to that for you. So there you go, Adam. If you die, Ragnarok is gonna masturbate to your corpse.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but thank you.
All out of bubblegum for another $2 corpse dollars says $2 for the dead stream. Thank you very much. And Zofrats for 20 Donkey Kongs says, here's some Donkey Kongs in case Adam dies.
I'm still in good health, guys. Let's not go too crazy.
Well, I don't know. You live in LA, so maybe by the end of the stream, you'll be like assassinated by the Oscar committee for talking bad about this movie.
Yeah.
Bayjax.
I should go out there and sneak on the red carpet and just do the microphone thing.
Oh my God. Bayjax for $2 says, explain to me in what way you don't support racists. As explained to me, Adam, why exactly don't you support racists?
I don't think racism is good. I don't like talking about race. This whole thing makes everything about race. I don't like that.
You mean this movie or like this whole social climate?
Whole social climate.
Which is a product of this movie. Or the movie is a product of the social climate. Dexter Morgan for £2 says, WTF Sitch, you didn't like Watchmen, you cray.
Yeah,
you're right.
Exactly.
I didn't like Watchmen because I'm smart, okay? Yeah. I'm sorry that the movie couldn't properly articulate the deep themes of the comic book that I liked so much because it's a highly intelligent story, okay? So you can take your fucking fancy, nice glass slow-mo movie, you can get the fuck out of here. Okay?
You know what smart people say all the time? They're almost like a broken record.
What do they say?
The book was better. The book was so much better.
Okay.
You know, I read the book. Okay.
Name how many times I can only think of like I can think of 3 movies that are better than the books, and that's it. Every other time the book is better.
Right there. You heard it. He's doubling down.
Well, okay.
Smart one here.
What movies are better than the books?
Okay, Mensa.
No. Challenge me. What movies are better than the books, Adam? Come on. Put your money
Watchmen
where your
for
mouth
one.
is. No. I'm gonna ban you from this stream. I'm gonna ban you from my channel. American Psycho, I think, was better. A better movie.
I don't read fiction, so I've never read any of the books. Like that's why
he's so smart and intelligent.
That's why I'm saying
that. Even read
fiction.
Exactly. Okay.
You want to go?
Okay.
I'll take it up, man. I'll take it up a notch. Oh, you and your fiction. Who has time for your make-believe stories? Okay, us in the intelligent world over here, we like to figure things out.
I'll say okay. So I'm going to say American Psycho, the better movie. The end of Fight Club, I like the movie version better because the book version
was amazing.
The book version's significantly darker.
When they're like holding hands, and the buildings are like toppling down.
Have you never read the book Fight Club?
Oh no. I told you I stay away from the books.
Oh, okay. So the end of the book.
For 25 shows, I've been talking about all the books I've read. Now he's getting even. Now he's getting even with me. I feel
finally I've read books. See, I've read more books than you. It's just I've read all the goofy fantasy fiction books. You read all the smart people. Oh, I gotta learn about society and why people do things, the reason they do them for. Oh God, I'm so smart.
Talk to me about the Harry Potter series, okay? I'm dying to hear about it.
Okay, but wait a minute. So the Fight Club book ends.
Have you read Harry Potter?
Yes.
Oh my God, you heard it here first.
You know how old I was? I was like in middle school when those books came out.
Oh my God. He's read Harry Potter.
Because God. I'm an old man, but I'm not like an old man like you are. It's okay. You know, I was a small child when Harry Potter came out. It was socially acceptable for me to read the books. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, the end of Fight Club in the book, after he I don't remember. No, I think he does hold hands with her or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then he wakes up in the hospital because he shot himself in the face. Mm-hmm. And
spoiler alert.
And the police are there, or the doctors are there, and they're part of Project Mayhem.
Oh, really?
So it's like, he can't escape it.
Wow.
So it's a lot darker. I haven't read the sequel though because it seemed kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And okay, whatever. We'll move on. Enough about books. No one cares about books. Contrast for 5 Aussie bucks says Watchmen movie was great. Squid ending sucks. You know, Contrast. I love you so much, but I might have to hate you for this. Sitch, you're losing status. The squall cries in pain as he Renzoku kens you in the back. You are. I'm gonna make a fucking video. I'm gonna make a video explaining how you're also fucking wrong and how the giant squid is just genius and you just don't fucking get it. Okay? You all watch. You all watch me. I'm gonna do it.
Hey, can you? Has Squall ever read Harry Potter? Just curious.
Oh my god. G-Man for $2 says, what's your opinion on Logan? I thought Logan was great and fantastic. Probably I'd put it in the top tier of superhero movies. Easily the best X-Men movie.
Yeah, Logan was good.
So I think we need more. Part of the problem with Black Panther and what I see, I mean, we haven't seen Captain Marvel yet, but it seems like part of the problem is that the Marvel movies they're just becoming too formulaic. There's the same thing over and over and over again. We need more depth, okay? We need more ideas going in these superhero movies. And that's why Logan was great, because it wasn't just your standard fucking superhero movie where they have to go get the thing that's going to shoot the laser in the fucking sky.
Mm-hmm.
Bayjax for $2 says, translation, my race has power, don't talk about it. That's right, Adam.
Does The Matrix count as a superhero movie?
No, it does not.
Oh, okay.
Counts as a science fiction movie. That last super chat was directed at you, Adam.
What did it say?
Okay.
I didn't. You
said you don't like to talk about race, and Bayjack says, translation, my race has power, don't talk about it.
Yeah, I like living in the bubble. Are you kidding me? Come on, it's great. Don't make me feel bad.
Seorize, I don't know how to say your name, for $2 says racism, special effects, the noose, and foot long. I don't get it. Do you get it?
No, I never saw Footlong.
Is that a movie?
I don't know.
Sorry, Sarah. I don't get your joke. Anyway, let's move on.
I do like the smirky
Futurist
face, though.
Yes, that's true.
Science fiction epic now being able to equal Best Picture.
Okay, I would not call Black Panther a science fiction epic.
Yeah. Superhero
movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's got science fiction elements to it.
Yeah.
Have you read any of the Team Fortress comics?
Don't all superhero movies have science fiction elements to them? I feel like they do. And I haven't read those comics. No, are they good?
First of all, they're fantastic. Anyone who hasn't read them should. They're hilarious. But yes, all superhero movies have science fiction elements, but I think Black Panther had the most, except for the Guardians movies.
Oh no.
And would you classify I wouldn't classify the Guardian movies as science fiction epics, right?
Guardian of the Galaxy?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're epic, man.
Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1 should have won Best Picture. There. I figured it out. I finally figured it out.
No. Come on.
That movie was amazing.
They were very good, but they were not Best Picture good, okay? They're not serious. You have to contemplate serious things to get serious awards like Best Picture.
Yeah, true. We need a Guardians of the Galaxy meets Schindler's List. That's what we really need. That's what we really need.
It would be like what was that? It's like Hogan's Heroes, but with Guardians of the Galaxy.
He's like, one more. He's like, I could have saved one more person, and the ship lands. He's like, we're going back in time.
Oh my god,
we're gonna save that guy.
Oh Jesus! But the reason I brought up the Team Fortress comics is because if those of you don't know that the plot to Team Fortress is hilarious, it's that it's literally the same plot as Black Panther. It's like a parody of it almost, which is that a space metal land that makes everyone super smart and can be used for like super technology lands not in Africa but in Australia. And so they make a hyper futuristic Australian society. It's just really funny because it's like all the like Australian stereotypes.
It's exactly the same as Black Panther, only in Australia.
Yeah, only the comics came out before this movie did. So I don't
know. I was thinking like IP infringement.
Well, I don't know if like I don't know. I never read the Black Panther comics, so maybe it was making fun of the comics, or maybe the Black Panther movie is just ripping off Team Fortress. Who knows? But so the whole time I'm watching Black Panther, I'm just thinking of Team Fortress.
nominee is about as game-changing as an Academy Award precedent can get. Of course, the only people more second.
Wait.
I know this guy's fast.
This guy talks way too fucking fast. It's really annoying.
Being the default setting for important Oscar movie, but comic book inspired Afrofuturist science fiction epic now being able to equal Best Picture nominee is about as game-changing as an Academy Award precedent can get.
Okay, it's not game-changing because we all know there's only one reason Black Panther got nominated for an award, and it's because of
the race card. Yeah.
The race card, yes. It's because of the race card and the perceived idea that Black Panther is a positive movie for race relations.
Do you know how the Academy goes about deciding and nominating movies and all that?
No.
Really? You don't know this?
No.
It's all based on actors.
What?
It's all based on the actors. All the actors in the screenwriters, or not screenwriters, whatever the acting guild is. Any actor that has worked on any of the motion pictures is allowed to vote in the Academy. So they're the ones that decide. You want to talk about liberal bias.
Right.
So yeah, it's completely done by actors. Yeah, actors are the ones that decide who wins the Academy. I'm in this writer's lab, and every time after the Academy Awards, there's always all of these packages there that the actors have got from people basically soliciting their vote from the Academy. So there's all these free movies and junkets and all this stuff. It's really fascinating to look at all that stuff.
Don't they like make parties and send people gifts and shit?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Okay, so how can shouldn't the Academy say you can't do any of that if the voting's supposed to be like legitimate?
What? This is democracy. Okay.
Okay.
We're picking a movie here.
This is the Oscars. This is important business. I forgot.
Yeah.
Of course, the only people more secondhand psyched to have Black Panther among the year's nominees is the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences itself. For years now,
so he admits that the Academy just wants to put this out there to be like, look, we're not racist. So how is that groundbreaking?
It's 2015. I'm telling you, this is all from 2015.
Aren't a bunch of white liberals in Hollywood desperately trying to tell people they're not racist? Isn't that like the opposite of groundbreaking? Isn't that what happens every day?
Yeah, exactly. But he's making the argument though, the fact that it's a superhero movie is what's different.
Right.
Like he's basically saying, this should be like a Schindler's List for black people, but that's not what they did.
Well, it sounds like he's saying superhero movies deserve to win Oscars.
You think that's the argument that he's making? Or he's making the argument that this movie should win an Oscar?
No, but it sounds like he's saying superhero movies should be considered as good as all the movies that win Oscars.
Yeah, you're right. Yes. He is saying that, which would be good for Watchmen 2.
Right.
Where they actually start with the squid.
And again, I love me some superhero movies, but they're not Oscar. None so far have been Oscar worthy.
Don't they just pick the movie that did the worst, and they're like, okay, well, if it wins an Oscar, we'll at least get some money out of that.
I think that's what they do.
Voters to fail to ultimately nominate either enough popular movies that lots of people have actually seen and thus might tune in to root for or see their favorite stars from, or films of diverse cast and crew reflecting the evolving state of the audience itself, leading to increasingly declining ratings for the show that exists to promote the Academy's work in film preservation.
You think people are not watching the Oscars because they're not nominating diverse enough movies?
I think people are just not interested in the Oscars. I mean, they were interested in the Oscars when we had 3 television stations, and the Oscars was on one of them. Now we have these things called video games. People would rather watch a movie than hear what celebrities have to say about a movie. And not only that, every single year they're completely condescending to the public. I mean, they live in a liberal bubble that they don't even realize that they live in. So I think the country is more conservative than they would like to think, and also they see conservatism as racism, which I think is just horrendous. Like they think conservatism is synonymous with racism, which I think is bad for both sides. But continue.
Well, and also people don't have to watch anymore. They could just look at, like on YouTube, just watch whatever the clip of the best movie that they want to see. They can just watch the award part that they want.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, you used to have to sit through like the fucking whole 3 hours of this nonsense.
I went to an Oscar party in 2015 when the complaining started. I did go to an Oscar party that year, and it was the first time that I'd probably watched the Oscars in 20 years. I usually just go to Google afterwards and figure out who won just for interest's sake, but I'm not a big Oscar fan, which I'm
No.
completely surrounded by people obsessed with the Oscars because of, screenwriting. Everyone's super interested, but I just never really was that interested.
Right.
I guess it's because I always liked writing popcorn movies that would never
Aren't going to get nominated.
Yeah, never stood a chance of being involved in the Oscars.
I mean, I'm trying to think. There's got to be some like great popcorn action fantasy whatever movie, but that's also worthy of like getting a Best Picture.
Yeah, I guess that's really
Well,
maybe this is the groundbreaking thing about this movie.
Did Lord of the Rings win Best Picture, the last one?
It might have. I don't know.
I mean,
you're the one that can officially Google on your computer.
Yeah,
I have
Lord of the
OBS
Rings
running
won
on mine.
all 11 awards it was nominated for, including Best Picture.
I did really want to see Vice, and I couldn't talk my wife into going with me.
The movie about Dick Cheney.
Yeah, I love political movies. I really love political movies.
Yeah, me too. I can see Return of the King. I think individually, I don't think any Lord of the Rings movie is worth Best Picture, but I could see that all three of them together are definitely worth Best Picture.
Mm.
Is that a fair statement?
Sure, they were amazing movies. Totally amazing.
They were
movies.
fantastic movies. I don't know. Maybe I'm
no
too stuck
Hellboy,
in the bubble
but
of like,
they're pretty good.
Maybe I'm too stuck in the bubble of like, oh, the Best Picture has to like make you think and feel and like look at the world differently.
I watched Schindler's List recently, and I got to admit, I was bawling like a little girl. I was totally just, oh God, this is so sad. Look, I'm gonna cry just thinking about it. Oh my God, I'm gonna go full Jordan Peterson here. That movie's just, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on movies that make you feel.
Okay.
I mean, that's what you're looking for.
Image upkeep and other endeavors has been a big concern to the Academy as a body, so when Black Panther was just burning down the box office all last year and this big gigantic cultural phenomenon was building behind it with multi-generations of families coming out in cosplay, charity drives organizing to bus school kids to see it, and culture writers talking about what a huge game changer it was, even Spike Lee only had good things to say. The whole awards season
Spike Lee's probably the biggest racist there is, so but how do you feel about the culture of the Black community just really liking their own superhero movie? Because I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah, see, I thought about you specifically when I heard this line, because I know that you were talking about how different people need to have a example, not example. What do you call like a paradigm to look up to, right? To emulate.
I think it's like an archetype, or I mean, you're talking about the prestige thing, right? People look for people to emulate.
Right. People look for other people to emulate. And I guess it's helpful if those people obviously share as many characteristics with you as possible, including your race, gender, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. It's weird because on one hand, I don't care if anyone likes Black Panther. That's fine. Anyone can like whatever movie they want. And on one hand, I say, if Black people as a community in America find meaning and value in this movie, then that's good for them. But on the other hand, I think, well, is that indicative of kind of how fucked up we are? Because Black Panther isn't about a Black American superhero. The Black American's the bad guy. It's about an African superhero who has nothing to do with America whatsoever, doesn't even like Americans. So you're only viewing yourself as kinship with him because of your skin color. It's not even like he's a South African hero, so thus Americans who are also from South Africa at some point in their time are saying, okay, well, I share some ancestry with him. He's from a made-up country that doesn't even fucking exist.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's complicated because on one hand, it's like, okay, I understand that all the subjugation and racism that Black people have faced throughout the years that there aren't a lot of movies. I guess there aren't a lot of movies that have like all like these huge black casts living in a fantastic society like Black Panther is supposed to be, right?
Right.
So you say, okay, well then it's something. So you can say, okay, well that's something to emulate, as you're saying, some prestige to look up to. But it's weird because they're not. I don't think black people in America should be finding kinship with people just because of their skin color. I thought the whole point of being a liberal was, okay, we're going to do away with skin color. We're going to do away with gender and race and all that nonsense. We're just going to focus on, ourselves as individuals and maybe our country as Americans.
So you're saying that it's the wrong type of propaganda. That's what I hear you saying.
No, I'm saying it to me, it means something weird. It's weird to me. Like, okay, here's the comparison. Let me make a comparison. It'd be like, what if there was a superhero movie about a secret high-tech fantasy South American country, okay, that's in the middle of South America, somehow no one knew about it. And it came out, and it was the exact same thing as Black Panther, only it was about some, Hispanic South American people. Would we expect Hispanic people in our country who are Mexican or Cuban or Chilean or whatever from any country, would we expect them to all identify with a random South American country? Or don't all Latino people have their own individual cultures based on their own country?
Yeah, the American situation is very strange to me because they are Americans. They're completely Americans. They've been here forever. Like their history is entwined with our history. I don't think it's good separating African Americans and American Americans. I think we're all Americans. So I agree with you in that sense. I really do. They have separated their own culture. And I think it's something that we innately do as humans, especially if you're in a minority situation. Like I understand the rationale. A lot of people want to come out and they want to say, why don't we have a white student union? Like why? Seriously, people say this. Like there's a black student, and I completely agree with the sentiment that they're putting out there because there are all of these political organizations that are race based. The Congressional Black Caucus is a race based political organization, right? But when you're not in the minority, people tend to clump together by physical features because they want to keep their numbers strong against a minority. And I think it's
are they clumping together by physical features, or are they clumping together by the physical features that they were discriminated against by the majority?
See, that's another part of the equation there.
Right.
But I think if you are in a majority, it becomes really scary for people when you start because the majority in any democracy has power over any minority. So it's a little scary if the majority is forming, the white congressional caucus, then all of a sudden everybody's in fear. But the strange situation now in America is that we're getting to the point where whites could lose their majority status. So then the whites are in the fearful position that the other races have always been in. But I don't know how we transition into that situation, because then it starts becoming scary if blacks are the majority and they have all these black political organizations. It becomes scary for the same reason it would be if whites had them. But we need to dissolve those political organizations. But I mean, politics moves slow. How do you do that? We're getting way far off movie land, but I mean, I understand what you're saying about how they're talking about a fictitious. They're basically making a fictitious history, right?
Well, not even that. It's just like, it's weird to me that because black people in America have been oppressed for so long, that therefore, like it's kind of like, okay, you know how like with Obama, he was half black and half white, and yet everyone, like, it used to be like, oh, if someone was half black and someone was half white, and you just said, oh, they're all black, like that used to be considered a negative thing, like, oh, you're racist for you're like categorizing him solely by his blackness. Yet when Obama becomes president, like that becomes reversed because suddenly he's in a prestigious position. And it's kind of like I viewed the same thing with Wakanda, because it's like normally if you were to equate all African cultures as one unified black culture that any black person in America can identify with, that would be considered racist, wouldn't it? Because each African country has their own unique culture.
Yeah. It's cultural appropriation. But they've got around it though. They made up a completely different culture.
Right, but so to make but that's why I'm saying it's weird, is that if it's racist to think that any random black person in America would identify with any random African culture in America, that's racist. But it's not racist to say that any random black person who could have any cultural background, any ethnic background in America should identify positively with a fictitious black African country.
Okay, I'm a little lost, but
I don't know. It's a weird situation. It's hard to explain. Lieutenant Amazel for $2 says, "Hey Sitch, check Twitter," and they drew a picture. They drew a picture of me with cat ears laying on a bed. Said, "Draw me like one of your French furries." It looks like my penis might be out. I can't tell. It's like shaded.
Does it have a little Sitch head on the end?
It does not. And Lieutenant Amazel says in the next panel, "That's not fair." And he looks disturbed. I mean, people identify with wanting to be a Jedi and stuff. And that's kind of a fictitious thing. Right, but okay, but wait a minute. That's a good example. Okay.
Yeah, so
people are identifying with something that has nothing to do with a biological identity. They're identifying with something. They want to be a hero. They want to be on the side of justice.
Right. But the Wakanda's the same thing, right?
But it's not, because Wakanda is a ultra nationalistic country that you can't. If you're a white person in America, you can't identify. You're not going to identify with Wakandians, right?
Yeah.
Like any person of any race or gender can not identify with, but want to be a Jedi.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's a status. It's not a people. It's a status.
Right. Yes.
Sinblade for $2 says, "The hype results from we African Americans lacking a nation."
Yeah,
that's an interesting point.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at was, I mean, you're an African American in the United States. I mean, you're even denoted as an African American. It's like, when are you going to get past the fact that they're like, do they do this with English people? I mean, there's black English people. Do they call them African English? I mean, why do we do this? It offends my sensibilities.
Right. I agree. But I think that's part of why they're trying to move away to people of color. I think they should stick with black, white, fine, whatever.
Black American, but whatever.
Yeah, we're all American. But I mean, I understand the point. The hype results from the fact that there's no but that's part of the problem, is that African Americans aren't. I'm assuming. I don't know. I haven't looked in the history of this, but I'm assuming that the country origin of African Americans is mixed. It's not like they're all from one place. Majority,
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that, but
do you know the history of Liberia, where they actually tried to send African slaves back to Africa? Oh God, it's so horrendous.
No, what happened?
They carved out a section of Africa, and I believe it's Liberia, and they basically were sending freed slaves back to Africa. Like, that's going to work out well.
What country was this?
I think it's Liberia.
No. What country was sending them?
The United States.
Oh, wait, I never heard about this.
Yeah, it's awful. It's totally
and what happened
terrible
with that country?
Oh, I think it never really worked. Never panned out. Look into it. Just,
okay. I don't.
Shady shit.
I don't know. I'm conflicted about this, because I agree with your point about people need like heroes and prestigious people to look up to, but on the other hand, I feel like it's as if you had black American heroes that everyone was getting hype over, I would say that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think we should be. I don't think it's healthy for people to be so fixated on skin color and identifying each other by our skin color. I think we should be moving past that.
The question that I have is it's obviously encoded genetically. Can culture change that? If it's an unconscious thing, I don't necessarily know that culture
What's
can.
coded genetically?
Well, the research is by Joseph Henrich, and he talks about how we look for prestige models in our environment. And the thing that we look for is that they're the same race, gender, and age, or slightly older than us, because then we feel like we can emulate what they're doing to gain their prestige, and we can move up the prestige hierarchy by emulating them. So and I made this point obviously jokingly, but it makes some sense that if you're a comedian, like I would be a white comedian because I'm white. If I emulated Dave Chappelle, who's one of my favorite comedians, his joke set just would not work out for me. Like, yeah. So this makes sense to me that, and it's very logical. Like,
no, I agree with you that I understand why it exists, and I agree that it probably is biologically driven. But I think, as you were saying before, I think part of what's important about culture and society is trying to stem or drive out, or maybe like placate some of what I view as negative biological instincts of humans.
That's the whole purpose of culture. The whole purpose of culture is to take things that are bad about human nature, us as individuals, and turn us into selfless cooperators that can work together to achieve collective goals. That's the whole point of culture.
Right.
My question is, culture isn't infinitely elastic. So are we better off? And I mean, I would put it in just stark terms when they talk about these college students are going in and they say they don't like the syllabus. I think unconsciously they don't like the syllabus because they're like, okay, there's a bunch of white males on here that maybe we can emulate and have success with, and maybe not. Nobody knows. So they want to dig in and find places where females were successful in climbing the prestige hierarchy. They want to find where people of color were successful in climbing the prestige hierarchy. I mean, obviously, that I think there is something to be said for that being maybe something we should look into. Obviously, you can't change the syllabus. Like, you can't say, oh, the guy who invented the smallpox vaccination is now black and female, right? I mean, you don't want to change history, for heaven's sakes. But it seems like you could dig in. I mean, what is the black attorney that was a freed slave that... Aha, I got you. You're dying. You're dying now.
You've infected me through the internet. I don't know
eat an almond.
Who you're referring to.
Really? Oh, see?
That's because I'm a white person. I don't care about black people. You've exposed my true racism.
See, I wonder if this is I mean, it's...
Wait a minute. I agree. I agree completely with what you're saying, and why that is important to have what you're talking about. I just think there needs to be a balance between having people of different races and genders for people to look up to and to draw prestige from and motivation from. But my concern with the movement, the social movement nowadays, is that there's a complete disregard from the far left to even try to move past any of this stuff.
Because we don't know if it'll work. Listen,
I don't think it's because of that. I think they
why
just
not
gave
just
up.
change the syllabus? Like, right now, what the workaround that they've done is they've said, okay, well, we'll just have, black studies or gender studies, right? And every single model that they're putting forward for these people are like a civil rights activist or a gender rights activist, right? So they're going, oh, well, that's the only way to be successful as a woman, or that's the only way to be successful as a person of color. And you're grinding out like a entire society of people who are saying, okay, well, this is how you climb the prestige hierarchy. You have a hate crime hoax and pretend like you're a victim.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic point.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, as a pragmatist here, like, can we work together on changing the syllabus in ways that aren't going to totally destroy Western civilization?
So you want more women and people of color who were not activists but like did stuff.
Is there a black scientist out there? I mean, I don't even really know. I'm not a historian.
I'm sure there's everyone's favorite George Washington Carver.
I mean, this is why people are upset about Trump because, and this is the one, like, take a drink, everyone. I'm going to mention Scott Adams. Like, the place where I completely disagree with Scott Adams is the fact that people don't care about the moral fortitude of their political leaders, because those political leaders are status models. They've climbed the prestige hierarchy all the way to the top. And if they're, doing things that we don't want to foster in society, then we should be aware of what models we're promoting.
So you're saying your leaders being moral examples is important.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Do you think so?
Right. I agree.
People are going to emulate their behavior.
Yes.
Trump, the age of Trump is like, I would not be surprised if cheating on your taxes is like soaring right now. I'm going to cheat on my taxes, man. This sounds like a good idea. No, wait, that was a joke.
Yeah, don't cheat on your taxes. I think if you go to like different companies or any group of people, you can definitely see that behavior is shaped from a top down way.
Yes.
It's usually not bottom up. It's always top down.
Right. Because you're emulating the people above you, because whatever they did to be successful is worked.
Right. I do think people at top set the tone, so I agree with that.
But just to bring it back to the Wakanda thing, somebody brought up the fact that people discount fictional stories because they know that they're fictional. So if you have a potential prestige model in your environment that you know is a real model that's really become successful against some fictitious Wakandan president, is he president or is he like a king?
Wasn't he? He was king, yeah.
Oh, dictator. So we got a Wakandan dictator, that may, you may think, okay, well, the way to be successful might not be to emulate some fictional person. So
I don't have any problem with emulating a fictional person if they're still a good example.
Right.
I mean, you could be real edgy and say, I mean, you want everyone to emulate Jesus, and isn't he your fictional character?
But this is why it's so important for the believers who are emulating for him not to be a fictional character. So, I mean, I think that whole debate is kind of evidence in favor of people would rather emulate non-fictional characters.
Yeah, obviously people would rather emulate someone who's real, because then it's like, okay, well, they really succeeded. They really did it.
Yes, we have evidence.
Right.
Yeah.
Alan Kennedy for £2 says, I really want to see a Subway ad with Jussie Smollett.
Me too, just for fun.
Subway, open 24 hours a day, even if you want to fake a hate crime.
There are some on the internet. The second clip that we're going to look at is about Jussie Smollett. So,
Sinblade for $2 says, tech is basically magic in Black Panther, so it's not sci-fi. I guess that's a good point.
I think that's why I checked out. All the tech has to work in my big brain, otherwise I'm like, that would never happen.
The people that like really get into genre stuff, which I don't care about whatsoever, but I've heard this argument being made about how like the difference between science fiction and science fantasy is that science fiction is like Star Trek, where everything's kind of explained, even if it's not real, and it's kind of like there's depth to it, where science fantasy is Star Wars because they never explain anything, but it all just works.
Right.
So maybe Black Panther is science fantasy.
Okay.
Bayjax for $2 says, you know what those parentheses your follows use are? Yes, we know. The echo quotes. Yeah. To denote that I'm a chosen individual, and they're all just so jealous of how chosen I am.
Chosen by a fictional character. So just
how dare you? Oh my God. Everyone that believes, okay, attack Adam in the chat. Ragnarok Utherbert for $5 says, I say we remove all humans from movies. You Earthlings have oppressed ethereal, spectral, Zorlax, and LGBT representation from your culture long enough. I agree.
This is why the robot bad guys are still in vogue. They're one of the last bad guys that you can actually have.
That's what was the Will Smith movie? They were trying to trick us into giving into our robot overlords.
The Genie movie?
No, with the robot.
Oh yeah. That
Can't
movie
remember
was
what it's called.
awful.
I thought it was okay. It was decent.
We should do one of these where we watch Rubber together.
No, okay. Lieutenant Amazel for $5 says we should redo the Jussie story, but instead of MAGA country, they shout Wakanda forever.
You're in Wakanda country.
And it's funny because I guess at the end of the movie he decides to he doesn't open the borders. He decides to not to hide the country anymore, right?
Oh really?
I don't remember.
I was asleep by then.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, like in the beginning of the movie, when they're ultra civic nationalists, they would have been like, "Get the fuck out of here, fellow black people. We don't care if you're black. You're not Wakandan."
Yeah, I think I vaguely remember them helping everybody, helping all the finally ending all the famine in Africa.
Yeah, finally. Jeez, Wakandians. God,
Yeah.
get your shit. You're complaining white people are colonizers. You could have stopped the white people from colonizing with your future tech. Why didn't you do that?
Yep.
Sinblade for $2 says, "Oh no, we already read that one. The hype was from the African Americans Lacking Nation." Bajax for $2 says, "Racial alliances plus identification are about power." See, that's my problem with it, is that I agree with you, and I think that's a bad way to shape power.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
you're trying to shape society here.
Yes, we need to identify as Americans again.
Yes.
Maybe we never did, but Paxton Fairbanks for $5 says, My thoughts on every villain's defeats in a TF2 quote. You're dead. That's good. Amen. There you go. I used to play a shit ton of TF2. That's right. We were gonna do a stream where we were gonna face each other in TF2 to see who's the better gamer.
Yeah, I remember.
Rand Paul's in the chat, guys. Oh my god. For 50 sex dollars, says the black and white guy's lower lip and chin looks like a one-eyed snake with a hat. What?
It must be you.
No, he's talking about on the stream. The frame is in a different place than it is for me, and there's a weird-looking guy who does look like as described.
Yes.
Anyway, let's get on. We're only 2 minutes in, so let's move on. Oh wait, did you want to talk about why Spike Lee's racist?
No. He is. He totally is. He's in the liberal bubble too. It's awful.
Right. It is silly for me that he's saying that he's seen Black Panther 4 times and that it changed the way he looked at the world.
Spike Lee?
That's what Spike Lee said.
He's actually nominated for an Academy Award this year, I guess, for Black Klansman. Yeah, and everyone's saying he's going to win.
So I don't know.
He's such a. This is what I'm saying about the successful models. Like, why would you want to put Spike Lee up as a successful model? He's the biggest racist in the world. Like, seriously, he's completely racist. He can't open his mouth for 5 minutes without being a racist.
Didn't he make a movie about a black guy having sex with lesbian women and turning them straight?
I don't know. That actually sounds pretty cool. Maybe I do like Spike Lee.
It's called like She's All That or something. I don't know. I've never seen it. Someone's telling me about it, so I don't know. This could be all false because it's all secondhand. That's what they were claiming, so that seems pretty.
Would he have like a science fiction penis or something? I don't know.
Spike Lee made. I liked the one movie he made, Inside Man.
Oh yeah, that was actually good. Yeah, that was
because it was just a movie. It wasn't about race.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess it was about Jews, so maybe that's why I liked it.
I think fomenting resentment in people is horrible. I think it's a way to ensure that they don't succeed. I'm reading this book called The Optimism Bias, and I can't remember the name of the author. And she pulls out so many studies that just reinforce my bias on how teaching people that, the world is against you, like taking any Like, we are optimistic by nature. That's how evolution designed us. But when you take that away from people, you just completely do them a disservice. You really do.
I know growing up as a young little Jew, I did find it really annoying, like in Jew class, how they would talk so much about the Holocaust. I'm like, okay, there's got to be more to being Jewish than the fact that we all got like almost murdered 50 years ago.
Yeah, it's sad.
So that's my experience with what you're saying, I guess.
I'll look up that book. Go ahead.
Matrix could pretty much feel the Academy freaking out about its membership's quirks in terms of, oh, guys, come on. It feels like every other goddamn...
I do like that picture. So I guess I'll give him a little bit of credit for that.
What picture? The one where you're paused on a different thing than I'm looking at. So
right
now we're looking at the ass of the Black Panther.
No,
and you're like, oh yeah, I do like that picture.
No, wait a minute.
Damn year, people's quirk.
No, on mine.
There you go.
I'm talking about the old man yells at Cloud, and it's Cloud from Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, he's getting you. He's getting you. He knows your anime tricks.
In terms of, oh, guys, come on. It feels like every other goddamn year, people either get pissed off and call us out of touch for not nominating some huge, clearly deserving comic book movie, or out of...
See, that's what he says. Oh, we get called out for not nominating some clearly deserving comic book movie. What the fuck's he talking about? What comic book movie is so clearly deserving of an Oscar?
Yeah, and who's calling for that stuff? The people who like comic book movies are like, Oscars? What is that? Oh.
Well, I almost said MovieBob. MovieBob's big thing is that he's all like, we need to elevate nerd culture to be like an important milestone in human achievement or something.
Oh my!
So I think he's looking into this stuff a little too deeply.
So this is the critical theory stuff right there.
Right, but it's interesting because it's critical theory about nerd shit, not about a race or a gender.
Yeah.
MovieBob is a critical nerd theorist.
Of touch and racist for not nominating a huge, clearly deserving black movie. This year, that's going to be the same fucking movie. So can we please just do the right thing, as opposed to that year when we snubbed Do the Right Thing? But
yeah, Do the Right Thing is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. If you're having trouble falling asleep, put on Do the Right Thing.
I remember I saw Do the Right Thing for the first time my first year in college for film class, and I hated it. And I remember the next day we had to go and talk about it in class, and it was weird. It was funny because it was like one of those intro classes. So you're in the giant auditorium with 100 people,
right?
And the teacher wasn't there for that day for some reason for the discussion. It was like a TA, and they were a black guy. It was a TA, and everyone was talking about how much they liked it. And then I raised my hand and I said, I felt like the movie was racist against black people. That's why I didn't like it. It felt like it was racist against black people. Like, it doesn't portray it because Spike Lee's the main character, and he's like a total piece of shit.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's what's so weird about it. I was like, what is happening? So I guess I didn't get what the movie is supposed to be about, like in a positive way for the black community.
Yeah. Yeah. So boring too.
I didn't think it was boring. I just thought it was. But okay, so wait a minute. He's saying, he's complaining that Do the Right Thing didn't win the Oscar.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what year? I want to see what year was it was 1998.
It was 100 years ago.
Well, I'm curious as to what else it was nominated against, because it's probably nominated against something amazing.
Well, if you only had some way of looking up what.
Well, I'm stalling for time while I'm looking it up. Okay, here it is. It was nominated. It was in the 1990s Oscars. It was not nominated for Best Picture.
90s?
Guess what? You know what was nominated for Best Picture that year?
Good Will Hunting, I'm gonna guess.
No, that was a different year.
Oh, okay.
It was My Left Foot.
Oh, okay, that was a good movie. Good white protagonist in that movie. I like it.
Daniel Day-Lewis as a paraplegic. Okay. Field of Dreams. Dead Poet Society.
Oh, all white men. I love it.
Born on the 4th of July.
Oh yeah, white American.
Well, these are all like amazing movies though.
Oh yeah.
And Driving Miss Daisy.
Oh, Driving Miss Daisy won. Look.
And Driving Miss Daisy
Look at
won.
that. It had the race thing in it.
Yep. So his whole point is kind of undermined, isn't it? Because all the movies about white men lost to Driving Miss Daisy. I guess it was about a white woman and a black chauffeur. So maybe
who's the star of Driving Miss Daisy? Come on.
It is a great movie.
Who's the star though? It's not the white lady.
That's true. That's true.
It's not the white lady.
It's God.
It's God. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So okay, but wait a minute. Let me see what category was Do the Right Thing was nominated for Best Supporting Actor for not even for the white guy, not even the black guy. For the Italian pizza shop owner.
Poor. Now we know why Spike Lee's been racist all these years.
There you go. And he lost to Denzel Washington, so he lost to a black guy.
Oh my God, Denzel
the movie
Washington's
Glory,
great,
which I've never seen, so I don't know. And it was nominated for Best Screenplay written directly for the screen against When Harry Met Sally, Sex, Lies, and Videotape, which I don't know what that is,
Really?
Woody Allen's Crimes and Misdemeanors, and Dead Poet Society.
Dead Poet
Society won.
Yeah. Cleaned house.
Dead Poet Society is significantly better than Do the Right Thing.
Never seen it.
You've never seen
No,
Dead
I
Poet
just
Society?
only said that so you would say, "Oh, you've never seen that movie."
So you have seen it. You're just fucking with me.
No, I've never seen it. Come on.
How have you never
Nah.
seen that? That's like a classic movie.
I don't like classic movies.
Captain, My Captain. You guys stand up on your desk.
I could watch.
That's like
I could watch Sin City again. Why would I want to watch that piece of shit?
It's good. Oh my God, you got to go watch it. Come on, fuck off. You got to go watch it. You're gonna do that tonight, okay?
Sin City's amazing.
Sit down with your little waifu, and you're gonna watch Dead Poet Society.
Sin City should have won an Academy Award.
I think it did probably for
That's a
visual
superhero
effects.
movie, probably.
I mean, it was a fantastically visually effective movie.
It was. Mickey Rourke was awesome.
So, Do the Right Thing, bad movie, and MovieBob has terrible taste for thinking it should have beat Driving Miss Daisy or Dead Poet Society.
The book that I recommended it's Tali Sharot, and it's The Optimism Bias, a tour of the irrationally positive brain. I could not recommend this book more. It's totally amazing.
You shouldn't read that. You should read a fiction book like Harry Potter.
Yeah, you should.
Have you ever read Grendel?
I've seen the movie. I love that movie.
No. The movie's garbage. You would love that book.
Let me explain the gold dragon in the end of the movie for you.
You would love that book. I'm serious. You should check that one out.
Okay. I'll think about it here. Let's move on.
But they did.
You don't understand.
Superhero movie curse is broken.
Wait. You don't. No. I'm pausing. We're not moving on here. Okay. It's about the monster from Beowulf, but it's all about like existential problems and free will and versus determinism.
Oh, I guess I would like that. Beowulf
So-
is one of my favorite movies. That movie
Are
is
you
amazing.
serious?
Yeah. It's got the guy from Sexy Beast is one of my favorite movies too. It's got-
Beowulf is garbage.
Listen, this guy, he's so insulting. He's so insulting. Did you not realize I'm right here? Like, I can hear you, okay?
Beowulf is so stupid. How is that your favorite movie?
It's one of my favorite movies. I love.
Oh my
Did you
God.
see the dragon in the end? Dude, it's got this gold dragon. It's amazing. This gold dragon. It's got what's her name? Like full frontal nudity.
Angelina Jolie.
Full frontal nudity of Angelina Jolie.
Oh my God.
What?
It's not even. It's a CG character. It's not even her.
Yes, man, they made her better. It's like, come on, flawless.
So is that why you liked it? You didn't like The Hobbit because even though The Hobbit had a giant dragon, it didn't have naked Angelina Jolie in it.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, okay.
Okay. If only there were some naked hobbits in The Hobbit,
Beowulf's
you would have been all on
amazing.
board.
Beowulf's amazing.
It did get nominated, and that's pretty much victory for now in terms of the genre, right? Because this can't possibly go all the way and win, can it?
You know, I'm like really grossed out by what I term extreme body modification.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'm biased because whenever I see the bad guy, he's got all those fucking like scar marks that he put all over his body. Just creeps me out.
Yeah, I'm creeped out by that. It's a generational thing. It really is because it's just it's a gut thing that I just can never get past. But this movie is going to win Best Picture. I don't mean to spoil it for you guys, but
You're fucking out of your mind.
what? You don't think it's going to win?
No, Black Klansman, even though I haven't seen it, will probably win.
Oh, is Black Klansman up?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I just like whatever the white movies are, just those aren't really in the running.
Or maybe what's the Queen movie? The Freddie Mercury movie.
Oh, that might. It's like queer versus minority.
Queer versus black.
But the queer thing has been happening for a long time because like they did the Harvey Milk movie. I mean, the queer movies win all the time. Like I said, it's all the actors that are voting for this stuff.
Yeah, but it seems like the Oscars, they lap up biopics.
Yes, that too.
So we'll see. We'll see tonight, guys.
Well, probably not. I mean, it doesn't have a Best Director nomination, which is bullshit. But then again, this category is...
Black Panther should have got Best Director.
Look who we put in the middle there.
With 2 CGI people in catsuits fighting each other on a train track.
That's another thing.
That should have been Best Director right there.
I didn't think the action was great in Black Panther at all.
No, I thought
it was no Zack Snyder. That's for sure.
Is weird this year, and I think it's probably going to Spike Lee anyway, since this is his first nomination period. You want to talk about bullshit. But yeah, that's usually not a
You want to talk about bullshit.
Bitter.
Can't sign for Best Picture nominees. Also, it has no screenplay nomination, and they didn't nominate any of the actors, even though a lot of people expected Michael B. Jordan to get a Best Supporting Actor nod, which...
Okay, could you imagine fucking Black Panther getting Best Script? I'd be so mad. It's got Best Writing. The writing is not good at all in this fucking movie.
Oh, it's awful. It's totally awful.
And I thought here's another problem. I didn't like the acting except for the girl warrior, who, even though she was like such a stereotype of like the black African like warrior lady, she was the only one that like sold the character to me. I didn't like anyone else. I didn't like the guy that played T'Challa. I don't know. I didn't like his voice. He was so soft spoken.
He was.
I want my heroes to be powerful and commanding.
I thought he was hilarious in a couple skits on Saturday Night Live, which Saturday Night Live is so bad these days.
Oh, okay. Well, no one watches Saturday Night Live anymore.
Yeah, because it's bad. It's really bad.
Exactly. But didn't you think? And I thought the villain, like, I couldn't stand him and his like gangsta. It sounded like. Have you seen Beverly Hills Most Wanted?
Of course, I love that movie.
Yeah, I think we talked about it. Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. And for those of you who haven't seen it, it's what's that white guy's name? He used to have like a TV show.
Oh, I don't remember.
Whatever. It's about a politician who his son is like super wigger. So he hires 2 blacks, like dramatic stage actors, to kidnap him and like pretend they're gangster and like scare the black out of him. I think that's actually what they say in the movie. And it's hilarious because the 2 black drama actors are like so like not gangster whatsoever. So they have to like learn how to be gangster. And it's just like, it's hilarious because they're so bad at it. And to me, the bad guy in Black Panther, it sounded like the parody that they were doing.
Oh my God.
Of like someone trying to be like street and they're not at all street. And you're like, oh.
But they gave him an impossible task because he's got to be gangster and he's got the whole Wakanda accent thing.
Did he really have a Wakanda accent? I felt like he didn't have a Wakanda accent at all.
Well, maybe it was like a mishmash.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Indicates a lack of enthusiasm among the Academy's actors block, and there's more actors in the Academy than any other group. Usual story for genre nominees. Although it did just win Best Ensemble at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, which could be significant, he said, hurriedly rewriting the script on Sunday night. On the other hand, there really isn't a runaway favorite this year, and everything that might otherwise be so has big downsides, or has developed them. So it's worth thinking about at least, stipulating up front, of course, that best movie of any context.
I hate those little faces he uses. Are they
yeah,
terrible?
Well, what's the purpose of that?
I don't know. They're like so smug looking.
We're like dipping into the video editing.
Well, also,
we're YouTubers.
I hate the way the whole video looks. It's got like this. I know the reason he puts this awful looking frame is so that it doesn't get copyright struck. But it's really distracting.
Yes, it is.
He doesn't. I'm paused on this frame. Doesn't this look like a frame from like a Mortal Kombat CG like cinematic in a video game.
Yeah. Shuan Head's in the chat making fun of the CGI, which I completely agree with.
Even when I was on an airplane and watching this tiny screen, I'm like, wow, the CGI looks terrible.
Sometimes it makes it worse. It really does. Like you'll see a movie in the theater and you'll think the CGI is great, but then you'll watch it on Netflix or something, and something about when they shrink it down, the contrast seems a bit different. And all of a sudden, all of a sudden,
it's usually
like,
the other way, I thought.
it feels like a video game. You would think because making it smaller, you would think it would be making it better, but
there's someone made a video about it. I forget where they were talking about the reason the CGI in Black Panther was so bad. And it was like they were really rushed or something, and they had to outsource a lot of the CGI to like these different companies.
Really,
and that's why like a lot of times in movies, like some scenes the CGI would be great and other scenes would be terrible, because it's like different CGI production houses.
Right. Yeah,
Dex is totally subjective.
It's just I can't get over the fact that this movie ends with two people in cat suits punching the shit out of each other on a fucking railroad track. This is supposed to be like the great movie of all time.
Yeah.
The great glass ceiling breaking movie for superheroes. Two guys in cat suits punching each other in the face.
It's like Catwoman reboot.
Yeah.
The Oscars have always been, at least in part, a political.
They even did, I forgot, they did the Matrix, we punch each other anime style, and then like it creates a shockwave.
The Matrix started all of this.
Oh, the Matrix just stole it from anime, so they didn't start anything. You hack.
Institution, not as in like government or politics, don't be stupid, but as in how people and institutions relate to and perceive one another politics. I mean, they didn't start the Oscars back in 1929 because everyone in Hollywood was thinking, you know what we're missing? Trophies. They started it because the film industry had been getting its ass kicked by yellow journalism, tabloid fearmongering, kicked up around stuff like the Fatty Arbuckle scandal, and putting on a yearly awards show celebrating the best stuff Hollywood did that year was the best way to guarantee movie stars would be seen attending a respectable, family-friendly, big showbiz party once a year. So pretty much by design, all the awards, but especially Best Picture, have always been partly about not only what we, meaning the Academy, thought was the best, but also what we want the public face of the Hollywood film industry to be presented as. So that's the real main reason that...
So you want the public face of the Hollywood film industry to be fucking Black Panther.
I don't understand the we, because there is actually a process that's somewhat democratic. I mean, everybody wants their film to be number one. I mean, they even have huge budgets to send out those mailers and stuff. So, like, the Academy is not just bestowing a Best Picture on you. People in the real world are voting for those Best Pictures.
And I find his argument really terrible. The idea that, okay, so if the Oscars started for some BS reason because they just wanted to appear not terrible to people in the 1930s, that doesn't mean that it should still be like that.
No, it hasn't changed
later, right?
It hasn't changed after all these years.
Yeah, after all these years, you still got
still the same motivation.
You know, if they're going about it the same way, wouldn't it be like, oh, we have to show people we aren't like horrible social justice leftist elitist types?
Yeah, that's what they're doing now, but only for the last 2 years. I'm telling you, 2015 changed everything. Don't you remember
so
them?
White.
Don't you remember
Oscars
the next
so white,
day?
hashtag.
Yeah, exactly. Figures. Twitter started all this.
Twitter's going to destroy the world. Just you wait. Just you wait.
Most Oscar winners have been big, serious dramas, and until recently there's been that perceived bias against sci-fi, fantasy, horror, animation, superheroes, whatever. They get up to the line and go, wait, do we really want the face of the medium to be like monsters or pie fights or people in costumes shooting lasers at each other? But this year, every major nominee has a downside that would normally be fatal, but it...
So there's the list.
Yeah, you missed it, but...
Oh, I did.
Here, let me back it up a little. I'll try to get it. Can't be for one of them, and that's kind of fascinating. Like this against sci-fi, fantasy, horror, animation, superheroes, whatever. They get up to the line and go, wait, do we really want the face of the medium to be like monsters or pie fights or people in costumes shooting lasers at each other? But this year, every major
Okay, I got it.
So, I mean, I would argue that Black Panther is racist.
Yeah, I know you have been arguing for an hour and a half now that it's racist.
You want the face of Hollywood to be a movie where it's like a high-tech African society, and yet they still ride around. They ride around on rhinos, and they use like ceremonial cloaks as shields, and they use swords, and it's like, no, like fuck off. It's so it's like that'd be like if there was a secret hidden state in America that no one knew about that had future technology, and when you finally go there, it's like everyone still dresses up like cowboys, and all their technology is based around like the 1800s or 1700s. And you'd be like, what the fuck is going on here?
That's one thing that bugged me too, was their tech was all futuristic, but their fashion was like from 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, like they could have made the fashion be inspired by their culture, but still look modern.
Yes. Yeah, that would have been amazing.
Right. And the technology to be like culturally inspired maybe, but still be modern. They're not running around on laser rhinos with laser swords and laser kilts. Okay.
So this one movie here, and Black Panther is the only one of these movies that I've seen. I wanted to see Vice. This movie here, the third one over, definitely deserves a best or a worst movie poster award.
The favorite
worst movie poster of all time award. Do they have a thing like that? Black Klansman. Is that a comedy? I feel like maybe it is.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Yeah. I don't like Spike Lee movies, so maybe it's great though.
It's because you're racist.
It's gonna win. It's gonna win Best Picture. I mean, I still haven't seen The English Patient, so it doesn't necessarily mean just because it wins Best Picture doesn't mean I'm gonna see it.
Yeah, Shu said it's like African steampunk. That's a pretty accurate description.
Oh yeah.
Which is weird because like the whole point of steampunk is it's not the future, but they kind of have future technology. So it'd be like if you discovered a steampunk society like in current year, you'd be like, what the fuck's happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nominee has a downside that would normally be fatal, but it can't be for one of them, and that's kind of fascinating. Like Green Book, for example, feels like the most conventional Oscar movie out of all of them, and even though...
Did you see Green Book?
No, I haven't seen it. I just said I haven't seen any of these. This is why I haven't even seen the trailer for Green Book. Tell me what Green Book is about. This is why I wanted to watch the trailers.
Green Book is reverse Driving Miss Daisy.
Okay.
It's Viggo Mortensen is a kind of Italian tough guy driving around I think he's a black musician around the South.
Okay. So he's like the bodyguard.
Yes.
He's his body man.
He's his body man.
Nice.
So I said that the Bohemian Rhapsody movie will win, but this is reverse Driving Miss Daisy. And we just talked about Driving Miss Daisy 1, and it beat... How ironic would that be? Spike Lee loses to Driving Miss Daisy.
Oh, again?
He's going to lose to reverse Driving Miss Daisy.
Take that, Spike Lee.
Take that.
No, I didn't really care for it. I think this or Roma is still probably the safe bet. But the last several years of Oscar everything have been about getting rid of the idea that this is still the same Academy that once gave a prize to Driving Miss Daisy. Plus, one of the real main life characters' families is...
Yeah, what was wrong with giving the prize to Driving Miss Daisy?
I don't know. Wait, is he saying it's a bad thing or a good thing?
I guess he's saying it's a bad thing. We will never know the mind of the social justice advocate.
Do people claim that... I don't know, because it's been a long time since I've seen it. So I haven't watched Driving Miss Daisy in like current year SJW lens. So I don't know if they would consider it racist or not, because it's about a black guy who's subservient to an older white woman.
Yeah. That's got to be bad.
Maybe.
Is angry about it, and audiences didn't really show up to see Green Book, so it's not like this is actually some kind of middlebrow hit crowd pleaser anymore. A Star is Born, same kind of story, surprisingly mixed reviews, and the Academy seems to be annoyed with Bradley Cooper, thus snubbing him for Best Director, so that's probably out even though it looked like a frontrunner until it, came out. Roma is beloved, but the Best Foreign category basically...
Lady Gaga was in a movie? I didn't even know this.
A Star is Born, yeah.
And isn't that... A Star is Born is like... It's not like a movie that they've remade like a million times.
They have remade it 4 times. Yeah, I read an article on it that was by some social justice rag. Just ragging on it. Just ragging. All they do is complain.
What was their complaint about it?
I don't remember. I tried to block it out as soon as I finished it.
Fucking white people finding and raising more white people.
Of course. Yeah, It's just all about this unearned privilege.
Right. And it's funny because Lady Gaga like worked her ass off for everything. I'm pretty sure she grew up pretty
Really?
not well off. Yeah. She's she's Italian too, so she's like I don't think she's like first generation or anything. So there was a time period in America where Italians were not considered true white people.
But she was surrounded by successful models to emulate.
There you go.
And they grew up with Menace to Society as their models to emulate. So
you're so racist.
Have you seen Menace to? I love that movie, Menace to Society.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
The best. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Menace to Society. The best thing about Menace to Society is the Hughes brothers are total Scorsese fans, and the filmmaking is exactly the same style as Goodfellas.
Right.
When you know this, it's you were like, wow, this is awesome.
Exists, so subtitled movies don't get Best Picture and turn off Joe Sixpack audiences. Plus, it was a Netflix release, and the Academy includes a lot of old schoolers who...
Didn't that silent movie win an Oscar?
Yeah, I did. I tried to actually watch that with my wife, and we lasted like 30 seconds. It was like unbelievably bad.
Hate Netflix for the perception that they're destroying theatrical distribution as a business. Like, that's a real thing. The Favorite's whole point is that it only looks like a stuffy, old-fashioned Oscar bait movie when in fact it's actually super kinky and weird, bound to turn a lot of people off. But hey, maybe that one. Bohemian...
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, I like weird movies, so...
Yeah, but it sounds like it's like so pretentious. Doesn't it?
Have you seen The
Maybe
Lobster?
I'm just an asshole.
Have you seen the movie The Lobster?
No.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Is it about Jordan Peterson climbing his way to the top of the hierarchy?
It's some weird, it's like an alternate reality or something.
What?
Yeah, these people.
Why do you like all these fucking weird ass movies? Adam?
Oh, I love weird movies. I'm a huge David Lynch fan. Are you kidding me? Weird is that's like my thing. Yeah. So these people in The Lobster, you have to find you have to be married. Oh, it's enforced monogamy even. There's some weird thing where you have to be married to somebody. So they set up these like couple meeting retreats thing.
Oh, I remember seeing the trailer for this.
Yeah, and if you don't walk away with a mate, they turn you into an animal. Like the guy,
right.
The guy shows up with his brother.
Turn him into a lobster, right?
And he wants to be a lobster. Yeah, this brother, and this was before Jordan Peterson, so it's like the perfect Jordan Peterson movie. But he shows up with his brother, and his brother's a dog because his brother like lost out on the last round or something.
That's funny.
It's a wacky movie, but it's very interesting.
You must have. What was that? The movie where they like take your memories, they take your soul out, and they like put it in another body or something.
I love it already.
I don't know. I can't think of what it's called.
In Rhapsody should honestly be the shoe-in, given that it was a gigantic hit, a biopic, a crowd pleaser, and it's a drama about one of the only intergenerational popular rock acts that Academy voter boomers and their grandkids both agree is a good band, but oh yeah, right, hey there, multiple sexual assault allegation magnate Bryan Singer. Yeah, not the headline Oscar wants the Monday after in the age of Me.
Yeah, good job, Bryan Singer. You ruined it by being a rapist. Or whatever he's accused of. I don't know what he's accused of.
Too. Plus, the movie isn't actually all that good. Vice, clearly the Academy liked this one more than I did, but political leanings of Hollywood even taken into account, I'd be somewhat surprised to see such a blatant and single-minded political takedown actually go all the way. Black Klansman, probably the best shot.
See, I would normally agree that they would probably never pick Vice, but I don't know. They might be like, oh, it's a fuck you to Donald Trump.
They do have weird outcomes. I mean, it happens all the time. Movies that they never think are going to win end up winning, or actors that they never think are going to win. I remember the year. Go ahead.
What year?
Well, I can't remember the name of the actor, but he won. Denzel Washington won for Training Day, which was like, what?
He did, wait, what? That's weird.
Yeah, Denzel Washington won an Oscar for Training Day, which is a great movie, but it was completely unexpected. I think it was like Best Actor.
I love Denzel Washington. I love me some Denzel Washington, but
I couldn't get over the fact, like, I love the movie Training Day, but he gets shot in the ass like halfway through the movie, and he's driving around in his car. I'm like, he's literally sitting on a gunshot wound. That is not possible. That is not possible.
Yeah, he won Best Actor in 2002.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I was like, it was completely surprising, but yeah, where was the Oscar so white when that happened? Like the biggest upset, and it's like, yeah, this is like my 8th Oscar, but you know, sometimes it happens that way.
Sometimes that, you know, I do think it's going to be Black Klansman that wins.
Yeah, me too.
It's
Yeah.
like the perfect movie for them to win the award right now.
You've convinced me. And Spike Lee just radiates charm. I mean,
I looked up what Denzel Washington was against. He beat out Russell Crowe in Beautiful Mind, Sean Penn in I Am Sam, Will Smith as Ali,
yeah,
and Tom Wilkinson in The Bedroom, which I never saw.
So this is Denzel Washington stealing a show?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oscar's so white.
Out of that list, I'd give it to Russell Crowe in Beautiful Mind.
So what we really should be making predictions on here, since the Oscars start tonight, they're on at 5 p.m. Pacific. What will Spike Lee's Trump derangement syndrome acceptance speech look like when Black Klansman wins? Because that's what we're going to.
Oh my God! Yes,
that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. I'm telling you, I'm predicting the news right here.
I'm gonna 100% stand behind you that he's gonna say some very anti-Trump, but it's gonna go crazy in his director's speech.
It's gonna be off the hook. Now I kind of hope Black Klansman wins just for the headlines tomorrow, just for the TDS. We got to be on Trump's Twitter feed because you know Trump is not going to let that go.
Lieutenant Amazel for $2 says Angelina Jolie's Golden Dragon tits get an Oscar.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
They should just make the Oscars look like Angelina Jolie and like a naked Brendel's mom, golden Angelina Jolie. Right?
We are officially being sexist here. Just for the record, it's not.
You're being sexist.
We know
you're the one that was all salivating over her. I said the movie was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, why should the Oscar be a naked gold guy? It should be a naked gold woman.
Yes.
Okay. Sion Eric Kale for $5 says sidekick Adam cementing his position with his taste in movies. Be a Cecil, not a Kane. That's right. Your taste in movies suck, Adam.
As long as I'm not Goose, I'm cool.
Lieutenant Amazel's giving us all the money today for another $5 says Black Panther should get Best Director just because he managed to get a bunch of African American people to do monkey noises.
Oh my God.
Did they? I thought they didn't make monkey noises. I thought they woofed or something, didn't they?
I do remember my racism detector was going off a bit during this movie. The accents I was like, why are they doing that? Why are they all talking like Jar Jar Binks? I don't understand.
They weren't talking like Jar Jar Binks. Wait, you're racist. That didn't happen. You're imagining things.
What accent were they doing?
They had like the South African accent.
Oh, is that what it was? It didn't feel like a South African accent.
I don't know. Maybe I'm racist. Maybe we're all racist. We just don't know.
Technically.
Yeah. Seorize for $2 says more people will watch this than the Oscars. I hope so.
I doubt it, but thanks.
JJJ Jameson Johnson or whatever the fuck his name is for $5 says Kingsman equals the British Black Panther ? See, no, that's a good point. Kingsman kind of is the British Black Panther. I can't say it. In that it has kind of like the old timey style, British style, but with future technology. And then when they go to the Americans, they're in Texas and they're like all like basically cowboys, but with future technology.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the reason that works in Kingsman is because it's a joke. And it's funny.
Yes. Comedies like to make jokes. You think Spike Lee ever regrets that his whole brand is wrapped up in those big funny glasses? Oh wait, my whole brand is wrapped up. Oh, why did I even open my mouth?
Why did you even open your mouth? That's true. If you saw him on the street without his glasses, would you recognize him?
Yeah, probably not.
You'd be like, who's this random person?
Shot Spike Lee is ever going to have, though it's not really a conventional drama or comedy, somewhere in between, and it's a little bit edgy still, and it doesn't exactly...
It's got Kylo Ren in it.
Yeah, I remember. I actually did a video on Black Klansman. Spike
You did a
Lee.
video on the movie you haven't seen?
No, I didn't do it on the movie. I did it on the racist rant that's the racist Trump derangement syndrome fueled rant that he did at Cannes
Oh,
Film
what did he
Festival.
say?
Oh, he's just talking about how racist America is, and we live in this is Trump's America, and it's just terrible. The guy in the White House, and it's a completely profanity laden rant. I was like beeping him out, but he's sitting right next to Kylo Ren, and Kylo Ren was like somebody pointed out that Kylo Ren was in the military.
Really?
That his name is not Kylo Ren. Is
Adam Driver?
Adam Driver, yeah. So Adam Driver was in the Navy or I don't quote me on that, but he was definitely in the military. Someone sent me his picture, but both the actors are sitting there next to Spike Lee when he's on this tirade, and both of them look just so uncomfortable. It's hilarious. They're like, "Oh my God,
I want to hear this."
They're like, "Make it stop, make it stop." You can look up the video on my Think Club channel if you want. But it is horrible. It is just horrible.
So you weren't really predicting the future. You were just saying he did this already, so he's going to do it again.
Oh, obviously. Yeah. No.
Oh, okay. I was giving you credit for something.
Well, how do you think I came up with my prediction?
Okay. By being a smart, intelligent individual. We were just talking about how big your brain is.
That too. Plus, he's got a history of Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh, okay. So how about after this, we'll watch your video. It's a 3-minute video of Spike Lee going.
It's so bad.
Why is it labeled Candace Owens destroys Spike Lee?
Oh, because I used a clip of Candace Owens at the beginning. Like, why do you want to be a victim? Everyone wants to be a victim.
Gotta get them clicks. Okay.
Hey. My unofficial nickname is the Clickbait King. Okay.
Okay.
Exactly send you home happy. And then there's Black Panther, EU comic book movie, sci-fi, kids junk gross. Don't forget, not that I'd blame you since everyone else forgot about this movie already, in 2014 the Best Picture winner was Birdman, a movie about how superhero movies are a giant garish spectacle smothering the film industry and how much they suck. The irony, in my opinion...
Birdman was kind of amazing. Did you see Birdman?
No.
But it was amazing for its technical filmmaking thing. Well, I mean, the story was kind of boring, but the Birdman, its claim to fame is that it's all done in one shot. Did you know that?
But is it actually done in one shot?
Obviously not. I mean, I'm thinking that it's movie magic, but there's no cuts in it, which as a movie, it's exhausting to watch. Like the whole time.
I remember in film class we watched some old movie that was like that.
Really?
Fuck, what was it called? I'm trying to remember. It had Humphrey Bogart in it. It had some famous actor in it, and it was like, it was kind of boring. It was just a bunch of people like in a dinner party having drama.
So the story is much better in Birdman, and it's an interesting story. The acting is just amazing, and there's a lot of visual effects, or not a lot, but there's enough visual effects to keep it interesting. But the whole time, there actually is a cut. There's like a cut at the third act, and once the cut comes, I just took a huge breath, like finally, finally I can breathe.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is worth a watch just for that. But I like that kind of makes it Oscar material. So I think that goes against his argument that
I don't like, because I feel like that's a gimmick. I don't like gimmicks in my movies.
Yeah. What,
I
you
want
don't like
a
gimmicks?
movie to just be good. I don't want gimmicks.
Come on. Like, can be good and have a gimmick.
Well, I guess.
It's not an either or situation.
Well, okay. Here's, you know what movies has a great movie and has a great gimmick is the backwards movie.
Yeah.
Memento.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yes, yeah, it does. Gimmick plus a great movie is a way to go. Gimmick only, I agree with you.
Right.
If it's just a gimmick. But Birdman is kind of a gimmick. It's a decent movie. It really is. It's not a bad movie.
A Caffeinated Tweaker said that your brand is not clickbait, but it's your red shorts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just so happen to have my red shorts on today.
We all know that your brand is eye lasers, so.
Yes, that's true.
G-Man for $5 says, Black Klansman is pretty insulting unless you're in the progressive bubble. It ends with footage from Charlottesville. It's perfect for current year Hollywood.
We should watch that video that I made, because I do include.
I thought you were going to say we should watch Charlottesville.
No, because he, in the profanity-laden rant that he does, he talks about Charlottesville, and I actually pulled the clip of Trump denouncing Charlottesville. Like,
right.
In order for him to be making the argument that G-Man is making, or saying that he's making, is he has to deny the fact that Trump actually denounced the Charlottesville stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, G-Man was not making that argument.
Yes, exactly. He's saying that Spike Lee is making.
When the fuck is Half-Life 3 coming out, G-Man? Come on. We're all waiting on you.
Opinion anyway, is that if the genre bias wasn't a real thing, and to be fair, Lord of the Rings and Shape of Water both won, Avatar, District 9, Fury Road, Arrival, Get Out all got nominated, this is getting better.
Shape of Water winning, I never saw it, but I don't think that's like a genre-busting thing, right?
Yeah. District 9 would have been amazing for Best Picture. There's my favorite superhero movie.
Your favorite what movie?
There's my favorite superhero movie, District 9.
District 9's not a superhero movie.
I knew you were going to say that. It's a
sci-fi movie.
Sci-fi adventure.
Yeah. I don't sound like that. Oh my God. Stop making fun of me. We can't all have your silky smooth voice, Adam, okay? Some of us were not gifted with such vocal cords.
Yes, we can.
Okay. No, I love District 9. It was super intense when I was watching it.
I think
that's because I have like
we finally agree on a movie.
Well, I hated the end though.
What? God.
Because when he betrays.
Yeah.
What was the main guy's name? Christopher. Right.
Yes, Christopher Johnson.
Yes. When he betrays
Which
Christopher
is hilarious.
At the end, it's so stupid.
Yeah, it is. And I forgave that moment. I'm much more forgiving than Sitch is. Sitch is kind of a hard ass. He doesn't.
Well, here's the thing. Since I have a thing about body modification that like disturbs me, that movie was so disturbing. But in like a good way. Like I was on the edge of my seat, like when his arm transforms, like when he's transforming, I'm like, oh my God. Like that movie was like so intense for me. So I was probably more like 100% into that movie than I've ever been any movie ever.
Yeah.
Until that one scene totally took me out of it. So I was just like, oh, ruined a perfect movie for me.
Yeah, it's definitely a great movie.
Feel like you'd have to actually call Black Panther an obvious easy favorite regardless of how you feel about the movie. I mean, it was a huge hit with audiences across the board, pretty much every demographic all over the world. Even people who don't care for superhero movies tended to like this one just fine. It actually has the best...
I mean, I'm just imagining like the futuristic... Okay, imagine that there's like a magical science fiction South American country that was like near like Ecuador or something. So like, are they all gonna like be wearing like llama gear and stuff? They can be riding around on battle llamas and have like the little cloaks and stuff when they fight with their lasers. Wouldn't that be really racist?
Yeah, it would.
Well, that's what Black Panther is. It's so weird.
But they have the immunity idol, though. I think that's what's getting what you're not getting.
What do you mean?
Well, it's an all-black cast. Is the director black? I'm sure he is.
Yes, he is.
So he's got the immunity idol. Seriously, he's got the immunity idol. It's like Steven Spielberg with the Holocaust movies. Like they can do anything.
Well, but it's like, I'm sorry, I said Ecuadorian. Llamas are from Peru, I think, right?
Yeah, so you get a
whatever.
You get a South.
They're all the same, okay? I'm a white American.
You get a South American
all
director.
non-American countries are all the same to me.
You get a Middle Eastern director and you base it in the Middle East, and they can do anything. They can do anything as long as they're using their own culture.
So if the South American future llama rider movie was made entirely with a cast of South American people, it would be okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as the llamas are imported from South America, PETA will be all over that shit, llamas. Man. Seriously, they'll be like, I saw that llama in San Diego. You can't fool me.
I want this movie now. I'm imagining like warriors, like South American, like stereotypical like Incan Mayan, or no Incan. Which one's Central America? Which is South
That's
America?
an American llama. I know.
Like whatever. I'm imagining like stereotypical like South American, ancient South American warriors with laser spears riding on laser llamas.
Oh man.
Oh, beautiful.
You're
reviews from
looking at it through a different lens, though. I see what you're saying. Like, can you, if it was a white director and a white screenwriter, it would completely be racist.
Yeah, but isn't that absurd?
It's weird, but I mean, I guess that's just the world we live in, terrifying as it is.
But see, that's what you just said. I think you encapsulated everything I was trying to say perfectly in like one sentence. Okay, just if Black Panther had a white director and a white screenwriter, it would be super racist.
It would be, yeah, it would be. Yeah, it'd be terrible. It would be, the media would be on full-on nuclear war for. We need to do a parody of Black Panther as two white guys. Two white guys parody Black Panther. We'll go blackface and everything. It'll be hilarious.
Professional critics by aggregate via Rotten Tomatoes, so yes, grain of salt, yeah. Of all the 8 nominees, in terms of sustained audience reaction and what the film ended up meaning to people, it's the only Best Picture nominee you could fairly describe as a full-blown cultural phenomenon.
So, this was something I was wondering. Does it, even though I do think it is weird, like the race issue we're talking about, if it is meaningful to people, does it matter? Or is all that matters is that it was meaningful to people?
I think all that matters is it's meaningful to people. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the leftist in me says, you know, let them have their movie. I mean, if it's a cultural phenomenon in the Black community, why, who cares?
Right.
But
I only care because, as I said, I don't think Black Americans should be prestige emulating off of an African country that doesn't have anything to do with them. Like if this was a movie about Black Americans, I would agree with you.
Your whole thing is it's anti-American.
No, it's not that it's anti. My whole thing is that I think it's more important as a society for us to identify ourselves as American as opposed to identifying ourselves as white or black. That's my point.
There's nothing more American than blockbuster popcorn summer movies. I'm telling you.
There you go.
And it's a fictional reality.
Right. I don't have a problem with the country being fictional and not American. That's not my point.
Right. No, I get your point.
Look. Okay.
In the vein of Titanic.
Because I would say
You're so go ahead.
I would say, look, I'm looking at this picture. I'm assuming it's the same picture. Okay, it's the same picture for everyone. It's got this Afrofuturism, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I would hope that the future that we work towards is like a Star Trek future, where we kind of don't give a shit about our skin color or our ethnicity or country of origin, as opposed to it just being like, oh, like I'm French or whatever, you know, like Jean-Luc Picard. But it's not like an important part of his character. It's not, or not, maybe it is an important part of his character, but it's not an important part of society. So I don't like the idea that there's going to be some future society that's so like heavily invested in race, like Afrofuturism.
My question is, like I said, I go back to what we had talked about earlier. Like, our genes are encoded one way and our culture tries to change that encoding. Right. And I want to devise an experiment so we're operating with actual like knowledge on whether or not what you want to do is even possible. We have to work with what we have. And a lot of times I feel like the culture war stuff that we're having is a battle over what is possible. Like the whole gender debate is the conservatives are saying, you know, what you're trying to do with gender is impossible. And we don't really know if it's impossible until we try it. I mean, I'm with the conservatives. I think it is impossible, but impossible and dangerous. But
here's why I say it's not impossible, because it's my lived experience. So I grew up in a very metropolitan, very mixed area of the country.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up in my schools. A lot of the people that went to my schools were their parents were first generation. Their parents came to America from a South American or Central American country.
Mm-hmm.
And their kids, you wouldn't know that they weren't like sixth generation American. They had no accents. They were totally Americanized. Like there wasn't a difference. So that's why I say no, it's totally possible. Because I grew up in this very melting pot of cultures.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that as being what we should be striving for.
Right. Striving for what your lived experience is. I can't believe you're making
Exactly.
the lived experience argument here.
Exactly. No, yeah, but I'm saying my lived experience shows that it's possible. At least where I'm from, it was totally possible to have people eschew their individual racial, cultural identities for a unified American identity.
Yeah.
That's my point.
It
is possible.
I think it's the ideal. I really do.
Right. I mean, you could say here's another reason why it's possible. Okay, because if we were in the 1920s, okay, somehow on the internet phone, we would be having the same conversation about not black people or Hispanic people, but about white people. We'd be saying, "Oh, can the white Irish and white Italians truly ever cultivate and mix in together with the white Anglo-Saxons?"
Right, and it did happen.
And it totally happened.
Yeah. The skin color divide seems to be something tangible where people have trouble.
I think it just takes time.
Yeah, well, we're going backwards now, though.
Well, that's why I hate the social justice crowd, because they're pushing us backwards.
Yeah.
Or Return of the King, since, yeah, pretty much Titanic or Return of the King. I mean, I guess Fury Road maybe, but you gotta be generous about the audience attendance on that one. But moreover, again, without any prejudice on my part entering into the discussion, it's hard to argue any other film this year better fits the profile of the best version of what the Hollywood film industry does best, which is supposed to be the Oscars' whole deal.
Here's what the Hollywood film industry does best. They make generic superhero movies that do very well because they placate on racism and race values.
That's what it says by letting Black Panther win? By making Black Panther
that's what MovieBob is saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Remember, when people think about the quintessential best picture movies of the past, the golden age of movies,
what would this...
What
would his video look like if it was a white director? If Tarantino directed
the most racist movie of all time.
If Tarantino directed this movie, what does this video look like?
Oh my god. Oh, could you imagine if Quentin Tarantino directed Black Panther?
Oh my god, yeah, I know. This video would be completely different. It'd be talking about how Black Panther is a blight on Western civilization and the entire Hollywood movie making industry. The fact that this movie even exists is just a testament to how racist we live in Trump's America we are.
I kind of want to see that as like an SNL skit. It was Black Panther. It's exactly the same. It's just like a lot of N-words like every second. It's Quentin Tarantino's Black Panther. Just same thing, but with lots of N-words.
That would be great.
Tends to be, well, you know what it tends to be. Gone with the Wind, West Side Story, Lawrence of Arabia, Ben-Hur, Casablanca, The Godfather. Big, important stories with the biggest stars soaring.
See, but he just said big, important stories.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Black Panther's story itself is not important. It's so pathetically shallow. I mean, I guess you can make the argument that's important to other people. So maybe that's what gives it value, as we were saying, because other people value it so greatly.
It is keyed into the culture because they've done it. I mean, I'm cynical. I think they're just doing it because they want to sell their movie, but
right.
Like a lot of brands turn to social justice just because they want. I mean, it is a foundation of marketing that people make purchases based on emotion.
Right.
So it just seems logical that they're ginning up emotion to sell a movie.
Even though Black Panther isn't even social justice-y very much.
Which I think is a win.
Itself.
I think is a win.
It would be a win if the movie was not boring.
Yeah.
Okay, here's...
Well, you didn't even like Rubber, so...
What?
Never mind. Go ahead.
You were fucking making fun of me. How dare I? But I might actually make a video on this. I figured out how to fix Black Panther. Okay, figured it out.
Okay.
Okay, because what is at its core, what should Black Panther be about? It should be about a clashing of ideologies. Okay,
Right.
you have T'Challa, who represents civic nationalism, and the bad guy whose name I don't remember represents ethno nationalism. And they should have showed the beginning of Black Panther. The first 10, 15 minutes should have been showing both of them growing up in their vastly different circumstances. And you see the Black Panther is like indoctrinated with his ultra civic nationalism, and then the bad guy is like growing up on the streets of America and it's shitty and blah 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 blah. You kind of see like them both become the men that they are. And then they have to the clash between them isn't like literally two guys in cat suits punching each other in the face. It's a clash of these different ideologies.
Yeah, that's
what the movie needed to be about.
That's theme.
Right.
That's the whole.
And then
Go ahead.
And then the end of it, the reason you could have had that Black Panther sees the dangers of ultra nationalism because he's at war with the ethno-nationalism, and he kind of sees the dark reflection of himself in that. And that's why at the end of the movie, he opens the borders. That's what makes him change.
He's got to find the middle way. You didn't have a nice Jordan Peterson like voiceover at the end of the movie where it's like the uplifting music and Jordan Peterson is talking about, yeah, that's not good. The extremes are not good. Not good.
Exactly. There you go. That's how you fix Black Panther. You just need Jordan Peterson at the end to tie everything together.
It'd be great. We could even use the black Jordan Peterson. We'll use it, or the black Jesse Peters. That's it.
Jesse Lee Peterson.
Jesse Lee Peterson at the end. It'll be great. This ain't good. This ain't good.
Visuals, gorgeous costumes, dramatic music, because that's what Hollywood specialized and excelled at. The life's blood of the whole town. Well, that was then, this is now. And now, in 2019, for a lot longer than that, frankly, films like Black Panther, Wonder Woman, the other Marvel movies, other good comic movies in general, Star Wars, Pixar, blockbuster franchise genre fare, for better or worse, is the mainstream American movie industry, is Hollywood, in the same way that biblical epics and costume dramas and lavish musicals were for my parents' and grandparents' generations.
So this is why I don't like MovieBob, is that he makes what I think are a lot of bullshit arguments based on total ad hoc reasoning, post hoc reasoning, whatever the fuck it is. Because in the past he's always talked so much about how we need to elevate art to be something better, to be something greater. Okay, so but now he's completely gone against his past argument. Now he's saying, well, all the popcorn munching dumb normie masses are these stupid superhero movies and fucking bullshit. So therefore it should be acceptable for Black Panther to win the Oscar for Best Picture.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be making this argument if Black Panther didn't exist. He wouldn't be making this argument about any other superhero movie.
Yep. He has disdain for Joe Sixpack. He really does. But all of a sudden it's flipped on its head because, this movie
was popular and did well. And I also wanted to get an Oscar because I feel it's beneficial for society for political reasons. So I'm going to completely go against everything I used to believe.
They usually, I was always under the impression that they usually didn't nominate these big popcorn movies because they already make a gazillion dollars. And the whole idea behind the Oscars is that you're going to take a movie that didn't make much money, you're going to make it Best Picture, and it's going to make more money that way.
I don't think they're that altruistic when they're making these decisions.
Yeah, they do make more money off the movies that win Oscars. The actors make more money when they win Oscars.
Right.
Yeah,
but
even being nominated, they make more money.
I don't think they're making ethical decisions like they want to help their fellow movie do well.
Yeah,
like that.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I don't agree with you. I think I think they're selfish and assholes.
Oh, well, I mean, maybe we're. I'm saying that they. What do you mean that they're in a fight over who wins the Oscar? Like
right,
the different movies are fighting against one another, but the production companies always they're going to nominate. They're going to put something up. They're going to put money and resources behind their movie winning because they know it's going to make more money.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying I don't believe that the actors and the people in the Academy that vote for these movies are altruistic enough.
No, not at all. They're not.
To be motivated to say, oh, this movie didn't do very well, so let's give it an Oscar so it'll do better.
No, they don't do that.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that's what you were saying that they do.
No, they put them up to be nominated, and then they let the chips fall where they may.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But why would you put why would you put Black Panther, which has already made a cajillion dollars, but
Because they don't want Oscars so white hashtag.
yeah, exactly. It's just something totally different driving the ship now.
This is what all demographic 4-quadrant mainstream mass audience filmmaking is at this moment in time, for better or for worse. So if you've got a nominated movie from that same pedigree, one that's also one of the best entries in its genre, a massive hit with audiences, the best reviewed film of all the nominees, and it's also, apart from that, a landmark moment for representation of black actors, black filmmakers, crew, designers, etc., and it's a film of genuine social importance that uses it.
Was there any white people on this set? I mean, he's talking about the designers and stuff.
I guess not. See, that's what makes it, again, that's what you're saying. It's okay for them to be racist as long as everyone's black.
Well, if they did that on purpose, I at least understand it.
Right.
I mean, but there are people that are going to say, well, that's racist. We're like, I can't believe like you're hiring based only on race now.
I mean, if they're hiring people that aren't going to be on like the film, like if they're hiring costume designers and set designers and all that shit just because they're black, like, yeah, that is racist.
Yeah. Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Might even be illegal. They probably had to shoot this in Canada.
That, though.
What's that?
I don't know if they actually did that though.
No, I don't either. But I only brought it up because he's saying like designers and set designers,
right?
And gaffers,
He's making it sound like they did that.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Its blockbuster platform to speak thoughtfully to major world issues. I mean, since objective best movie is otherwise impossible to determine, what...
Okay, wait a minute. What fucking thoughtful world issues was Black Panther talking about?
Yeah, he's talking about outside of the movie world. That's what he's talking about. He's separating the fictional world from the real world. Okay. He's saying that it was a cultural phenomenon because it's the first all black superhero movie.
But see, that's why I say it was a waste. If you had, this all black superhero movie and it was about something that was actually good, like this clash of ideologies or something that was deeper than just guys in catsuits punching each other in the face.
Yeah.
Then you could say like, wow, this is a really good movie to merit like the representation. It's like a really deep movie.
It is tough. Like making a movie is very hard. So many places a movie can go wrong that I'm amazed whenever there really is a good movie. So
yeah, I agree.
I mean, it is.
But Black Panther was so generic. It was so shallow.
Hey, I'm with you, brother. I'm totally with you.
Oh my god!
But
it's so boring.
But I guess he's making the argument that we're not really the audience. That if black people enjoyed it, then that makes all the difference in the world. Which I'm sympathetic to that argument. I really am.
I'm sympathetic too, but I don't know if that means it's worth an Oscar. Come on, let's get crazy here.
What else do you give out this trophy?
You are making the aesthetic argument over and over again. You're making the aesthetic argument.
It's not aesthetic. I'm talking about the
that's aesthetic.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we're using different. When you say aesthetic, I think that to me that sounds like you're talking about like the way something looks.
And it's the way something is beauty wise. When you're talking about, it's got to have this emotional and like that's beauty, right? You want it to be more beautiful, is what you're saying.
I want it to be important and deep. I want it to be the thing that people are claiming it is. I want it to be an important, deep movie about interesting themes, not just a fucking popcorn munching bullshit shallow superhero movie, which is fine if you want to make the movie, but then just don't pretend like it's some deep thing. No one's pretending like fucking Avengers Infinity War was like a deep movie about important themes. It's like, no, it's just a good fucking superhero movie.
You keep saying important and deep. Those are aesthetics, right? I mean, it's not advocacy.
I guess. I mean, as I said, when I hear the word aesthetic, I think of visual cues, visual beauty.
You're judging it on a different criteria.
I'm judging it as a fucking movie, not as we were talking about in the beginning.
Are you saying that you're not judging? Are you saying that you're not judging novels on aesthetic? I mean, just because it's not visual. I mean, you would judge poetry aesthetically on the beauty content of it, as it were.
I guess, yeah, no, maybe I'm using the word aesthetic incorrectly.
Yeah.
I think is what the problem is.
Well, I'm using a very wide definition of aesthetics, but I'm just saying
Right.
that you think activism should be taken out of the debate and the movie should just be judged on its beauty, its
goodness as a movie.
Right.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Its technical skill.
It was when we talked about last week when we talked about Star Wars, or the week before, whenever the fuck we talked about Star Wars. It was, if you want to make a movie about a message and ideology and activism, whatever, that's fine, but make the movie good.
Right. Better propaganda is what you're advocating.
I want better propaganda. I want better propaganda in my movies.
Yeah. I think it's interesting to look at the difference between the aesthetic argument and the activism argument, because he is in this video very much making the activism argument. He's saying that this movie should win because it moves activism forward.
Right.
Yes.
Fuck him.
As I said, the main cool historic thing is that this got nominated. The door's been kicked in, bandages ripped off. It will now be that much easier for more boundary expanding genre films.
This was bullshit too.
He even said historic.
Just because Black Panther was nominated, that's not making it easier for any superhero movie to be nominated. They're not going to nominate Part 2 Avengers Infinity War because Black Panther got nominated.
There is race issues in 3 of the movies, correct? I mean, 3 of the movies are about racial activism, correct?
Oh, you mean that were nominated?
Yeah, that were nominated. 3 out of 6 are about racial stuff.
Right.
1 is about homosexuality, I think, which is also a type of activism. The other is about political activism. There's the Dick Cheney one, right?
Right.
Yeah. They're all being judged on a way different criteria, I'm telling you.
Exactly, but that's why his point is full of shit. They're not going to nominate another superhero movie for Best Picture unless it's about, as you said, unless it's about some form of activism.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. But
so
I don't
maybe they'll nominate fucking Captain Marvel.
The question for me, though, is does he know that he's evaluating this movie on activism? And the reason why everyone else is pissed off is because they're evaluating on aesthetics. I mean, best case scenario, and you keep making the argument for this, is that it should operate on both levels.
Right, exactly.
But in the hierarchy, which is more important?
To me, it's obviously aesthetic.
Right, but not to them.
Right, not to them, right.
Yeah.
But this is the problem, is that I feel like the people that want these activist movies, they sacrifice the aesthetic of the movie for the activist message.
Well, most of them are in just a political bubble where they're like, oh, my political tribe will love this. Look, look, exactly. We all hate men and white men in my political tribe. They'll love it when we rip on the white men. Oh, we didn't lose another point yet.
Films and films of all type with diverse casts to get in the future going forward. All good things. But to the extent that I'll root for anything this year, I'll probably root for this one, because I just don't know how you get to this can't possibly win Best Picture and still say Best Picture really still means anything anymore. Or at the very least, that it's in any way fulfilling the purpose Best Picture was ever meant to.
I love the framing there. He's so ballsy. He's like, yeah, if this doesn't win, then burn it all down.
If this doesn't win, then Best Picture doesn't mean anything. Like, exactly. What an absurd statement to make.
Exactly. Talk about black and white, right?
God, I guess it's as you're saying. Well, here's the thing with him. I think it's not just activism. I do think he's way too involved with like nerd shit, which I'm really involved with. But I understand that it's nerd shit. Like, he's trying to elevate nerdy comic book movies to be something greater than they are, which if you want to go out there and make a superhero movie that's about deep themes, that's fantastic. But he's trying to like elevate the stuff that exists, which doesn't reach that level yet, as if it's like some great narrative epic, which they're not.
I think the word you're looking for is pretentious. I love the word pretentious, creating an air of often undeserved importance or distinction.
I guess it is pretentious.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to create an air of importance that it's not there. Seriously, it's a popcorn movie. These movies are about catering to the lowest common denominator. Come on.
It's too bad because like I mean, there's some great video games and great anime that you could make fantastic Oscar award-winning movies out of anime and video games.
Yeah.
But they never do. They always make it out of like the shittiest video games, or they completely ruin it and they don't follow the storyline of the anime or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Catering to a smaller audience. As big movies get more and more expensive to make, then it's tough. They have to.
Right.
And also China's driving a lot of the ship. Like, I think once the China numbers come out, they just dwarf American numbers. They're not making movies for Americans anymore, but Americans just haven't got the memo yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, who's sitting around there like, oh, we want to make a video game movie. Let's make Assassin's Creed. There's a game that people really like for its ridiculous storyline that will really translate into a fucking movie. Like, they make the worst decisions for this stuff.
There's a lot of factors at play too. Here, let's close this out.
I'm Bob, and that's the big picture.
I'm Bob. That's a social justice picture. That's the critical theory picture. Putting my gender studies degree to good use. Critical theory is the subject to look up. Man, I wish I were. I'm horrible. One of my friends on Twitter, Yuri, I can't remember his last name. He has written a bunch of articles on Quillette about critical theory that are all great. So they're worth taking a look at. Are you queuing up the next one? Let's see if Marvel lost we're at 34% want to see. 33! You saw it here first. That's 2 percentage points.
Surely.
Racism is
Slowly but surely.
Oh, you pulled mine up. Nice.
Pulled yours up. Yeah. Isn't that what you wanted?
Yeah, sure. We got the other thing too, but I mean, let's do it.
is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs.
Trump derangement syndrome, TDS, affects thousands of Hollywood elites every single day. Please donate to my Patreon so I can get pacifiers for these crybabies.
Name.
Dude, is that not hilarious? Was that a good joke
funny.
or what?
That's a good quote joke. Yeah, great.
It was a defining moment.
Oh my God! Look how
It was not just for me.
look how angry he is. Jesus
Oh, I know.
Christ. His
He's
face
he's
is
going
quivering.
full Hulk. He's going full Hulk here.
Jeez.
Americans, for the world. And that was given a chance to say we're about love and not hate. And that did not denounce the Klan, the alt-right, and those Nazi.
Racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything we hold dear as Americans.
We look to our leaders to give us direction, to make moral decisions. Say his name, and that see, we're about love and not hate. And I like this.
Why are you tone policing him, Adam? Okay, you're just tone policing. It's
Oh,
terrible.
that's tone policing? Dude, that's editing. That's an editing masterpiece there.
Say this is not just something that pertains to the United States of America.
Spike Lee is no Vash the Stampede. Okay, he's not concerned with love and peace.
This is going all over the world. This right-wing is not just America, it's all over the world. And we have to wake up. The so-called cradle democracy, that's some United States of America
That's a fantastic.
was built upon
He's so
the genocide of
he's
Native.
so awkward.
I know. What do you do? What do you do when your boss goes on a racist tirade in front of everyone?
People and slavery. That is the fabric of the United States of America. as my Brooklyn brother Jay-Z would say, facts.
And we need that because
Facts.
Yeah.
You're just racist. That's why you don't like Spike Lee, because he's a wealthy, powerful black man in Hollywood. That's why you don't like him.
He's worth $40 billion, man. I don't know. It just seems like you'd be a little. I guess he's bitten by the activism. Isn't his whole career a testament to the activism stuff, though? I don't know. He did Malcolm X, which was an activist movie.
I like Malcolm X though.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but he went the right route with having the. What's the actor that's already won? He probably won.
Denzel Washington.
Yeah, Denzel Washington probably won an Academy Award for Malcolm X. He probably lost Best Picture, but won an Academy
Let me
Award.
look that up. Malcolm X Oscar nominations. He was nominated for Best Actor, but he didn't win.
Yeah, see.
Denzel Washington is awesome.
Another snubbing. Are we gonna watch the Jesse Smollett thing? Talk about that for a sec.
We are.
Joining us, by the way, it's called What the Justice.
Do you want to set this up?
Yeah, totally. So obviously Jesse Smollett was a faked hate allegedly.
I don't think it's allegedly at this point.
Faked a hate crime. He's been arrested and released because he's got a bunch of money, but he's being written off of Empire. We talked about this last week, and I had said not to get your hopes up with him doing any prison time or anything like that, because wealthy people, I mean, the system is stacked in their favor, but
right, they get probation.
Yeah, because they have excellent attorneys. I hear Jesse Smollett's attorney is Trump's attorney's attorney. So as much as he hates, as hard as he goes on 45, he's still got his number on speed dial when he needs legal advice. So
MAGA country is the worst, but the lawyer of MAGA country, I gotta get me some of that.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, this is an interesting take. John McWhorter does a podcast. I'm spacing on the name of the podcast, but he does regular conversations with Glenn Lowry, who's a conservative, and he's sort of on the social justice side. But I like McWhorter because he caters to my bias. He constantly talks about how social justice is a religion. And it really pisses off both the social justice people who are many of them are atheists. So being compared to religion is like, it's like that scene from Watchmen when the guy gets thrown out the window. It's like
you mean the scene when he gets vaporized by Dr. Manhattan?
That too. Yeah. They hate it. It's triggering all the way. So if you can trigger the social justice warriors and the anti-theists at the same time, I'm all about that. And then the fact that McWhorter is so on the social justice side, he's black, so he's got the race card on his side. I don't know if he's gay or not. He's super effeminate.
Wait, but
I don't think he's gay.
Is he on their side ideologically?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah,
so he's saying that it's a religion, but not in a negative way.
He's saying it is a religion in a negative way. Yes.
But he's on their side.
Well, he's for social justice. He's for, social justice is about blacks are being oppressed and we have to do something about that. Yeah, but is he
for it? I guess I'm confused as to what exactly he stands for. I mean, is he for it the way that the regressive left's for it? Or is he for it more
He's
traditional way?
He's closer to what we are.
Oh, okay.
Where we acknowledge that there's inequities in the world and that we should strive to give everybody the most opportunity that we possibly can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's called Lexicon Valley.
But if he did come on a live stream with us, he might call us racists. So that's why.
But we probably are racist.
That's why I'm just saying. That's why I picture him as on the social justice side.
Okay.
He's very lefty, very lefty.
Right.
Yeah.
It's called Lexicon Valley is the name of the podcast.
No, it's not.
I'm looking it up.
He's on Blogging Heads TV.
Oh. What the fuck are you talking about?
Blogging Heads TV on the Glenn Lowry show is what I've seen him on. But he might be on another podcast. You know, these podcasts they're multiplying like kittens, so who knows?
Right.
I've been listening to a lot of Shermer's podcast, which I think is really good. And getting a lot of book tips from him. So Michael Shermer, he's in the big atheist bubble, so.
Give me book tips. Oh, books to read.
Yeah, books to read. Michael Shermer is a critic of Jordan Peterson, but he really likes Jordan. He's a critic of Deepak Chopra, too, and he's actually friends with Deepak Chopra, which is kind of funny.
Weird.
So let's watch.
Joining us, by the way, it's called What the Jussie Smollett Story Reveals. It shows a peculiar aspect of 21st century America. You call it victimhood chic. What do you mean?
Well, that's a good name.
It is
Victimhood
great,
chic.
huh? Victimhood chic.
We gotta steal that. The white guy's gotta steal from a black man. We're culturally appropriating.
Well, it's not
chic.
stealing when we do it. It's called colonization.
There you go.
But what I mean by that is that, in a way, this isn't surprising what he did. And so, as culpable as he seems to be, and I'm using seems only being very polite, as culpable, you know, I'm going to say it, as he is. It's clear. Still, he didn't get this out of nowhere. This is a young man who figured out that he could be more interesting as somebody who was jumped by MAGA shouting white guys than he is as the very deft star of a really interesting TV show. And so what this means is that, in a way, all of us are culpable in that, if we are part of this us, we look at, say, the Covington kid, and we look at 1 millisecond of his smile, and we decide that he symbolizes the racism of all of America, when really it was just a millisecond of that kid walking by somebody and not smiling with his teeth showing. And intelligent people think of themselves as being ahead of the curve and seeing that as a summation of American social history. Now, somebody like Jussie Smollett looks at that zeitgeist, not that specific thing because that's a little late, but there are all sorts of examples of this over about the past 15 years. And he realizes that if he's somebody who is slightly vainglorious, and many of us are, and he also happens to be black, as many of us are, he thinks that I could be really famous. I could be more important than I am being on this hit TV show doing a really deft performance as a very interesting character that intersects in an interesting way with the person who I am. I could be even more important if I stage this attack. And you can imagine what he was thinking. And I know I'm getting a little bit creative, but you can imagine what he was thinking. He's been attacked. He becomes Jussie Christ, basically. And so he writes a book with somebody. Then he gets to do the audio of the book, and in between the chapters of the book.
Guess who's going to be his ghostwriter on that book? The brothers.
Oh, God. What he's saying so far is so right on. Holy shit.
I know this guy's great. I'm telling you.
I'm shocked that Don Lemon is letting him speak uninterrupted.
Oh, Don Lemon over there is, you know, he's just, his lip is quivering right now. He's like, wait till I get to talk. I'm going to unload on this guy.
He would have songs that he wrote, that he recorded. That audiobook would become a big hit, and then he would get a talk show, and he would become Jussie Oprah. That's the sort of thing that he was waiting for, because he knows that here in America, not only do we know that racism and homophobia exist, and we should, but he knows that we've gotten to the point that we are so bent on demonizing people like that Covington kid, demonizing somebody who voted for Donald Trump because they didn't prioritize racism as much as some of us do, that he actually thought that it would be a good idea to create something like this and become more famous than he was. And the sad thing is that if it had worked, he's right. He would have that talk show. He would be Jussie Christ.
Oh my God, it's so perfect.
Oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm clapping. We need a snap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But no, he totally nailed it. Totally nailed it.
Yeah, there's a great debate with him on anti-racism, if anyone wants to look it up. John McWhorter's the guy's name. I can't remember who he's debating, but they're debating the question of whether or not anti-racism has gone too far. And he's saying anti-racism has gone too far. And he uses a bunch of the religious analogies. I actually clipped a clip of him doing his opening statement, and it was super popular on my channel. So it's worth checking out.
So does Don Lemon push? I didn't watch this clip. Does Don Lemon push back on this?
I'm watching Fresh now, so I don't know. But I know Don Lemon's... Poor Don.
I mean, yeah, I really don't like Don Lemon. I think he's
Don Lemon's in the bubble. He's completely in the bubble. He's oblivious.
Totally. Though there's this weird thing going on. I've noticed, not weird, but like there's this thing that's been going on with a lot of the media figures about the Jussie Small thing. Is they're coming out so hard against him because they feel. I think they feel personally betrayed because they were hyping his story up so much, and then it turns out that he totally lied about it.
Look, Don Lemon's right there. He's like texting with Jussie Smollett right now. He's like, bro, dude, I know. Jussie Smollett's like, you gonna let him get away with that? They do. So actually, I did watch more of this, and he does. Oh, it gets better. It gets even better.
Apparently met with, the reporting is that he met with the Empire cast and crew tonight. And here is, I think in the third paragraph where it says, after a lot of hugs and kisses of tender friendship, Jussie then expressed a personal message to everybody.
On an unrelated note, now we're in peak current year when a newscaster on live television takes out his phone to look up information for the story.
I noticed that, yeah.
And just reads it on live TV.
It's breaking news. I know.
I don't remember who it was. There was I don't know, someone was making a video about some YouTube drama for some YouTubers I never fucking heard of. And it was funny because the girl who was apologizing for whatever bad thing she did with her fake tears, she was like reading the apology off her phone.
No way.
And it like looks like, okay, here's the PSA Sitch tip of the day. If you need to apologize publicly for some transgression, don't sit in your bedroom on your bed reading from your phone.
Yeah.
Like you have no fucking care in the world because no one's going to believe you're being sincere.
It's called acting. You have to look in the camera. We want to see real tears. If you have to get the little Mr. bottle to start up, just make sure the camera's not on yet.
Right. Get your friend to hold cue cards where the camera is and write what you're going to say so it looks like you're at least looking at the camera. Okay. Don't just look down at your phone and say, I'm so sorry that I hurt people.
I have a better idea. Don't do messed up shit. Just knock it off. Think. Don't write that check for that hate crime hoax. Just think. Use your brain.
As a group, first he apologized for any embarrassment they might have felt since his story began. Then, to the shock and dismay of the person who attended the meeting, Jussie defiantly stuck to his story of innocence and, for the most part, paraphrased in his own words what was in the statement that his attorneys put out this afternoon.
Here's going to be the ultimate plot twist. It's not going to happen, but here's the ultimate plot twist, okay? Because it turns out that the two Nigerian actors, he didn't actually hire them. They actually had a secret grudge against Jussie Smollett, and they made him think that the attack was real just to reveal that it was fake so that everyone thinks it was part of a hoax.
I think the writing the check is pretty much, I don't know.
I guess that's a good point.
I mean, as an attorney, and I've given you a hard time on other streams for playing the attorney, I could see him saying, well, the check was for personal training. It wasn't actually for the hate crime, right? Like,
right.
Supposedly he's given him, but if he's been training with them for a long period of time and written other checks, it might fly. I don't know. We're going to see what he concocts here.
I don't think they're going to make that argument. I think they're going to plead for he has a drug problem and
that's
sad.
Too. Yeah,
and,
they're going to do that too.
Made bad decisions.
He was on a drug bender the whole time. How high was he when he was on that interview? A lot of people have given the lady who interviewed him a hard time when he came on late in the game. What's her name? I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what her name is, but I know who you're talking about.
And she just drank in everything he was saying. He just broadcasted. I don't know if she was working with the police. Perhaps she wasn't working with the police, but the police loved that interview. Like they were all about, yeah, just let him talk. Let him talk. They love that.
Let him
That's
sit
called
there and
evidence.
incriminate himself. Yeah.
Yeah. They would love it if he did more interviews like that. So
Look, it's not his fault. Jussie Smollett has an Ambien problem. Okay, he was half asleep. He didn't know what he was doing.
was it
Okay?
Ambien? That's funny.
Yeah, he's just high on Ambien this whole time.
And blaming the legal system and the media for his woes.
Oh, the humanity. We have to imagine what's in.
So he does so good. I believe he's a sociologist too. I
love this. No, he says professor of linguistics.
Oh, okay, that's it. Yeah.
His head. There are very few evil people, and so we have to imagine how he is going to sleep at night and where he gets this. You know, he's going to basically go to his grave, rolling his eyes and sprinkling half sentences all over the place when this comes up, implying that there's something that we've all missed. Where he's getting this is the idea that there's this larger narrative that we're supposed to keep in mind, even in the place of facts. And so, Mike Brown.
So here's an interesting thing I just thought of. Okay, we were talking about in film how people put more importance over activism rather than aesthetics. Okay, so maybe Jussie Smollett wants people to put more importance on activism over reality.
No, that's exactly what he's doing. I love the fact that McWhorter is so laughing at him. Like he's holding back his little giggles. This clip is amazing. Seriously. He's
Yeah, this guy's awesome. I have to check out some interviews with him.
It's tragic that he died, but there is still an idea that Mike Brown died with his hands up. Now, the facts have made it quite plain that that's not what happened. There is, nothing beyond any shadow of a doubt that that's not how that boy.
Oh, wasn't Don Lemon like super on the Mike Brown train? I don't remember.
Don Lemon's all over all of this stuff.
Because I was watching a lot of MSNBC at the time, not CNN. So I don't remember where CNN was on the Mike Brown situation.
Oh, they're even worse, man. They're just race baiters.
I really didn't like Chris Hayes during. It seemed like he was really drumming up like fake protests during the Michael Brown protest.
Yeah.
Like I remember he was on the streets like, oh, look at all this like bad stuff that's happening. But it was like you like took 2 steps back and it was like nothing bad was happening. There weren't people rioting. He was like totally blowing it out of proportion. It's like, come on, Chris.
Boy died. But there's a certain sense that we're supposed to believe it on some larger level. I've heard ordinary people talking about it. I've certainly read esteemed intellectuals writing about it as if that somehow happened. Jussie Smollett has grown up in that kind of environment where he watches the facts being skirted in that way, where, say, a Rachel Dolezal, who's a white...
Activism is more important than reality.
Yeah, it is. The hate crime stuff too. They keep saying hate crime is on the rise. The reporting of hate crime is on the rise because all these Jussie Smollets are out there looking to get a record deal. The actual numbers.
That's racist. Okay, he's an actor.
Oh, okay. Well, look at the guy that got misgendered and went viral. He's trying to be a rapper and stuff, or she's trying to be a rapper. Sorry to misgender.
Oh, the
you.
GameStop person.
Yeah, I don't want to get beat up.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, like she's not the one that popularized that interaction.
She's capitalizing on it.
Yeah, but there's a difference between someone making fun of you and then you capitalizing it, rather than you blowing something up out of proportion or faking something. Sure,
I completely agree, but one fuels the other. If the exchange didn't go viral, then the Jussie Smollets of the world wouldn't think, well, if I have one of those exchanges, it's going to go viral. Like
right,
he
that's a bad example though.
He did
because
okay.
Because the reason it went viral is because she looked terrible. It was not because people were sympathetic to her. Right?
Yeah, maybe you're right. God damn it, I hate it when you're right.
Yes, I got you to change your mind live on stream.
I didn't change my mind. My mind is still the same, but what I was saying
agree.
before I was so rudely interrupted.
I
here.
agree with your point. I was just a bad example.
Oh no. Oh, okay. This is where we kiss and make up. The hate crime statistics, I think Scott Adams looked it up, and it was like 87 actual hate crime convictions in the state of California, which is like 30 million people. 87 hate crimes, and this was like a couple years ago, and now it's down to 65. So the hate crime convictions are actually going in the opposite direction. But they want to turn like everything into a hate crime. They want to say, oh, someone got misgendered on Twitter. Oh, now we have another hate crime. So hate crimes are just escalating because everybody's calling everything a hate crime, which just is not a good. It's not a good situation. It's not a great situation to live in.
Yeah, and that's why it's so dangerous when your source of social capital and source of power comes from you victim statusing yourself.
Yeah.
Because then you have to look for hate crimes where none exists to
Yes.
further give yourself power.
Yes. Yes. You don't want to be a victim.
No.
White woman who walks around spray tan pretending that she's black never says, okay, it was all just a big hoax and now I'm going to be white because that's who I am. But she kind of smirks to the cameras and kind of walks off into the sunset. Jussie Smollett has come of age within that. So as far as he's concerned, his relationship to these facts is about as oblique as those of a certain person with a certain amount of authority who you and I usually talk about. It's the same thing. He drinks it in from the zeitgeist. Now, I'm not saying that it's okay. He is clearly an extreme personality with a certain extreme self-regard, which you can smell from his Twitter feed, from interviews. It's funny, I read an interview with him about 3 years ago where I had the guiltiest feeling. Now, I'm not talking about the hoax that has come out over the past few weeks. 3 years ago, I read a very nice interview with him where I thought, and I hated myself for thinking it because I couldn't think of anything that was wrong with him. I thought, there's something smug about him. It's like he wants to be a civil rights hero of the past, and he's a little uncomfortable that circumstances today don't quite allow it. I swear I thought that, and I would never have.
See, isn't this exactly what I said?
Yes. Oof.
He's like,
that's a statement.
The civil rights leaders are how you become successful. That's how you get your name in the history books. I want my name in the history books. I got to climb the prestige hierarchy.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
We're fucked.
We are totally fucked. That's why the whole grievance studies audit, I hate calling them a hoax because it just totally taints it, but the James Lindsay and Peter Boghossian stuff.
Right.
Helen Pluckrose. This like they pretty much proved that in these gender study journals, like facts don't matter, science doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. Scary world to live in, man.
Hallucinate for $5 says SJWs psychologically project their hate onto others. They accuse people of being racist but swap definitions when called out for baseless accusations. P+P.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's sad because science, I mean, I look at science and I think the founding of the United States is brilliant that we separated church and state.
Right.
That it forced.
Wait a minute. I thought you're the guy that's always saying we need to promote more Christianity for society.
But my thing about Christianity is I read all the science stuff, and when ideas are proven scientifically, empirically, and they have some overlap with religion or Christianity, I feel like Christianity is sort of a repository for ancient wisdom where we don't necessarily know why this works. We just see that it works over and over again. And then sometimes science can come along and say, oh, well, this is why that works. This is why that is ancient wisdom. And you can't fool me, okay? I know that you're really a secret Christian trying to proselytize. No, I'm a total atheist. Like
you're just pretending to be an atheist, okay?
Didn't we start this conversation talking about how I hated arguing with the Christians on Twitter?
We did. That's what makes it so brilliant.
It bugs me. It bugs me because they're like science is beautiful. It really is because it is a way for people from different cultures, different backgrounds, different skin colors to come together and say, we can agree on the facts. Like, here are the facts. The natural world is something where we're forced to have agreement, right?
Right.
But then this stuff comes along and it just throws all that out the window.
Exactly. That beautiful sentiment about us, about people of all races and genders and creeds coming together under the banner of science. So,
Oh no, we lost you.
right in the
Anyway.
garbage can.
Yeah. Have you seen the Jordan Peterson video where he talks about how the social justice side is trying to redefine evidence? That evidence is even like the white patriarchal symbol of power.
Yes.
It's so horrible.
I know. It hurts.
It hurts. It hurts. Yeah. White people are
I've written
dying
that-
inside.
How see you ruined it? Everyone's dying. Everyone that appreciates science and objective reality is dying inside. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean
Not
to
white.
ruin it.
There's plenty of white people that are anti-science.
Yes. They're all on my Twitter feed right
They're
now.
on your Twitter feed.
And I just went on with my life, but I thought there's something about that guy. And look how there is. That's what turned out to happen.
Listen, I am over, but I just have to ask you this. What does it mean, race issues as a whole in this country, when someone, as you say, and this is a quote from your article, can be acting oppression rather than suffering?
Ooh.
If you quick answer.
It's the funniest thing. You know that things have gotten better.
This guy's dropping all the red pills.
He is. I'm telling you. And he's speaking to his side. There's no way they aren't going to eject him from the team. Like, this guy's a conservative in like a year. He's going to get drop kicked so fast. Are you kidding?
Yeah, probably.
Somebody can actually feel comfortable pretending to be oppressed rather than really being oppressed. When people were really suffering, you've got the hoses in Birmingham, you've got people redlined. Nobody was going to act. That was very rare. Once things get better, you can start turning it into some sort of drama as if we were on Empire. And so that means that as tragic and pathetic as what Jussie Smollett, quote unquote, allegedly did, as disgusting as it is, it's a sign that we've come further than we often like to admit. Because if things were really as bad as we're often told, and that's not to say that there is no racism and there's no homophobia, if it really was 1960 except the window dressing had changed, there could not be a Rachel Dolezal, and there could never be a serious-minded, intelligent, brilliant performing person like Jussie Smollett who pulls something like this and comes out of it thinking that he's been wronged. We're doing better than we think.
Oof.
Yeah.
You should just clip that and play it at any SJW. Like whenever they can bitch about something, just play that clip.
Well, they're changing it around now. I love the fact that they're like, well, you know, this is still horrible. Like, Jussie Smollett did us a favor because he illustrated how horrible it could possibly be.
Look, even if what he did was fake, it's still possible that it could happen in this society. So
It's
we need to
still
do something
happening.
about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exploding Printing at Work for $5 says, remember affirmation number 5 of the Church of Intersectionality. Facts are irrelevant when you are morally right.
Yeah, that's the problem. That is the problem. This also, take a drink. I'm going to mention Jonathan Haidt. Jonathan Haidt's rule that morality binds and blinds is so important because we join these teams and we become blind to the facts because we're building a worldview, a philosophy that we're going to live our lives by on top of those facts. And the central fact that really binds any moral community together is what becomes sacred. They just can't think clearly about it. It's why it's terrible when these people go into some activist discipline where they're trying to prove the thing that they can't think clearly about, because science is really about disconfirmation. And McWhorter even says it in here. He's like, if you believe that the biggest problem in the world is racism, and you're building your tribe around this idea that we have to fix racism, you can't change the fact that like when racism is gone, your whole tribe is meaningless.
Right, exactly.
And people are bound up in this situation. Think if you're a college kid that went to college to learn about how bad racism is, and halfway through your college career, racism really isn't that bad. You're not
Right.
gonna
Well,
go ahead.
that's what I would challenge any activist, anyone who's a professional activist. You can challenge them with and say, okay, you don't really want the world to be a better place because then you wouldn't have a job. You don't have anything to go from. You if you get your fucking career, if you get a degree in college under gender or race studies or one of these bogus bullshits, and then you spend your entire career writing activist hit pieces for Huffington Post or BuzzFeed or whatever, what do you do when things are actually better?
Yeah, when you win.
Yeah, what
when
do
you
you do
win,
when
you
win?
lose.
It's interesting. It's kind of like when you look at the olden stories about the guy who's trained for war to be the great warrior, and then he's great on the battlefield, but then once peacetime happens, he has nothing to do and is driven mad
Yeah,
because his place in the world is lost.
that's a deep story, man. That should be that's Oscar material right there. We need to bust that out. We need to write that story.
That's the social justice story. The social justice warriors are the same thing. They're training for a battle that people say doesn't even exist.
How many screenplays have you written? Have you written any screenplays? Because you said you
Uh,
studied film.
Yeah, I wrote 2.
Okay, wow.
All right, here's the funny one. I wrote a screenplay. I think it was the first screenplay I ever wrote for a film class. It was about a world where like all the monsters existed, like all the paranormal things like ghosts and zombies and all these things existed, but everyone just kind of like they were so commonplace that even though they were dangerous, people were kind of like over them. But then it was like they all the monsters were like trying to get together because they were all treated like second-class citizens by society. So it's like a civil rights story, but for like monsters.
That's an interesting world. That's a totally interesting world.
So there's my liberal activist screenplay.
When I got an agent, actually it was a manager. When I got a manager, he wanted me to do like 100 log lines. So I have like 100 log lines. Actually, I think I've whittled it down to about the best 30. When you have to sit down and write 100 log lines, some of them are definitely going to be duds. So I got a bunch of log lines that I always think.
I don't think people in the chat know what log lines are.
A log line is just an idea for a movie. It's like a 1-sentence summary of a movie. Yeah,
Right.
I'll pull some log lines up next time we do our stream. So
Okay.
for an example. Well, I think log lines are fun. I don't know about you, but
No, I'm the opposite.
really, you don't like movie ideas?
No, I'm not good at coming. I'm good at coming up. I'm not good at coming up with like these high concept, multiple high concept ideas.
I did a video on my Adam Friended channel that's called Social Justice Detective. I don't know how many people who watch this have seen it, but I did the script for that, and Sitch was super helpful. I had no idea he had a film background at all. But I don't know if you remember this, but I acted out all the parts in like a sound file, and I gave you that. You gave me feedback on it. I also gave you feedback on the first cut of it, and you gave me feedback on the first cut of it. But the feedback you gave me was so amazing. Like it became a completely different thing. Well, the beginning became completely different, which I think is you pushed it to the next level.
Why, thank you very much, Adam. I do appreciate your compliments.
Yeah,
you are
you
too
do.
kind, sir.
Well, I'm always telling you where your videos suck and how you have to like make them better. Like,
Then I just ignore you. They don't get better.
The big one that I always give him a hard time on is he uses music under his vocals, and I think that's a mistake. I think you should use music only during your transitions. I think when you talk, because music gives people a feeling, and you're just turning off people that may get the bad feeling from it. So
here for my next video that's going to come out maybe Tuesday, Wednesday.
What? A new Sitch video?
I'll take your okay, don't play it up. Come on. But, I'll take your advice. I will only put music in specific places. I'll put it in the intro, like right in the beginning, and then I'll cut it off unless there's like a specific joke or musical cue or something.
Will you let us know in the comments below when this becomes a video? Anyone who's listening now, because I'm curious if my intuition is right about that, because that's what I do in my videos. But Sitch is technically way more popular than me, hence my sidekick role. But I mean, I talked about this. People are thinking that I don't. That like we talked about this at VidCon when I said, "Hey, I'm going to be your sidekick. I'm gonna get big off of your fame." I basically said that to you, didn't I?
I think so.
It's hilarious.
But for going back to the music for a second, I have been slowly making it quieter and quieter in every video. So maybe you're right. Maybe it's just time to get rid of it in terms of having it be all the time.
I notice it when I try to watch something that I'm really interested in, and they have just the most annoying music in the background, and I'm torn the whole time. I'm like, wow, this is super interesting, but oh god, this music. So
well, I think part of the problem with music, because I hate the way that I sound, so I'm like using the music to hide my voice.
Well,
so I just need to like get over that.
If you ever want a narrator for any of your videos,
that's what we'll do. Okay, we'll just combine our channels. I'll just do the videos, and then you just do the audio.
No way. I'm copying you. Everyone loves it when I copy you. Like the Destiny response video that I did. They're like, "Oh, look, now he's copying Sitch," and I'm like, "Totally." Yes.
Yeah, because everyone says I sound like a smug asshole, even when I'm trying not to be a smug asshole. So maybe I just need your soothing voice.
You just got to go with it. Go with the smug asshole.
Ugh. Well, I don't know, because I feel like the videos that do well are like calming, are more calming. People want like someone to explain something in a calm way.
Yeah, I don't know. I try to make my videos kind of just happenstance.
Right.
Not too.
If I'm gonna give a shout out to Mouthy Buddha's last video. It was very good.
Oh, really? I haven't even watched it yet.
It was about how we're all dying because of cell phone radiation.
Ooh, that's why I didn't watch it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's funny because it's so good. Like the information is very valuable, but the quality of the quality of his videos are amazing always. But the visual quality is so amazing in the video, and it's kind of upsetting because I know it's not. I feel like it's not gonna get a lot of views because no one wants to watch it because they don't want to know that their phone is killing them.
Yeah, Mouthy Buddha DMs me every once in a while with clips and says, "How did this person do that?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, like." This because I have a lot of Photoshop experience, so we've talked about how we both like 1791 L's videos because they're the same kind of Mouthy Buddha quality. We
talked about this before. I said I feel like Mouthy Buddha is like on a whole nother level. Like 1791L is like the McDonald's version of Mouthy Buddha.
Oh, he would love you saying that. Yeah, he gave me feedback on how to do audio, which is funny. We all share tips behind the scenes, but
no one's giving me these tips. You gotta give me audio tips.
What do you mean? I give you tips all the time.
I gotta fix my horrible voice. Come on.
More boobs in the thumbnail, more lasers.
This every time Adam sends me a stream thumbnail that doesn't have tits in it, I'm like shocked. I'm like, oh, thank God.
I gotta fix that next time. I have another, people seem to like our musical intro last time, and I have another music intro song. I just didn't have time to put it together. So
the musical intro where we sit there for 20 seconds in silence.
The music. It's still good. People like to see. With me on camera, it's cool because it's behind the scenes. So
there you go. They get to see Adam in his true element.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. See me freaking out. So. Well, this is a bit weird. I know this is like only 3 hours. This is a bit odd.
Well, the video was really short, so
I actually I have a interview with Dr. Leonard Sachs, author of Why Gender Matters and Boys Adrift. Ooh. Yeah, and I should go anyway because I have to put together the questions. I'm actually doing it tomorrow, so hopefully it'll be. I hope. It was an interesting situation because I reached out to him when my channel got demonetized, and I said, "Hey, I'm having to make some changes on my channel," and I wanted to talk to him about the rights to some of the clips because they're some of my most popular clips. And he said, "Well, why don't you just interview me?" And I was like, "Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that was an option."
Like, awesome, perfect.
But the video, and it's one of my most popular videos, is a clip of Jordan Peterson. Like a lot of my videos are Jordan Peterson says something that the left thinks is completely ridiculous. And then I pull from an audiobook where the scientific research backs up Jordan Peterson. So it's kind of a little formula that I did for quite a bit of videos. But it turns out Dr. Leonard Sachs is not a Jordan Peterson fan, kind of at all. Like, yeah,
really?
so he sent me a blog post that's super critical of Jordan Peterson. He said, I kind of agree with this. And then I asked him a couple things about, give me your rundown. Why didn't you like Jordan Peterson? He had all of his criticisms were completely rational. And I mean, that's what's different about it, because the left is attacking Jordan Peterson for just crazy reasons, right? This guy is, he's a medical doctor. He is a psychologist. He's super against the trans stuff. They even went as far as, like, there's a new edition of Why Gender Matters out now that covers the trans issue. Like, he thinks we're going through a trans epidemic. He also, I asked him, can we talk about the APA stuff? Because the new APA guidelines came out, and they're like how to deal with men and boys, and they're basically like a feminist manifesto.
Right. I was going to do a video on that, but I totally forgot.
Yeah, he sent me a blog post that he had done on it, and he's just like, he just went off on him. Like, he was saying it's the equivalent of like castration for men. Yeah, so he should.
So you're going to ask him, right, about, I want to hear the Jordan Peterson stuff in the interview.
We're talking about the APA guidelines. We're talking about Jordan Peterson. One of the things I want to ask him about Jordan Peterson, because this is the one place where I think Jordan Peterson has the argument.
Jordan Peterson, let's say his name a little bit more.
Jordan. Sorry. JBP has the argument that men and women are different, right? There's all this scientific evidence that men and women are different, right?
Right.
Well, part of the differences between men and women are men's brains are much more bifurcated than women. And they have, we've talked about it before, they have stroke data where if women have a stroke on one side of their brain, they don't tend to lose language abilities because their language ability is more evenly distributed throughout the brain. But men, like, the language is all in one hemisphere. So that's kind of a huge difference between men and women's brains. But then Jordan Peterson will talk about how, order and chaos, and our brain is bifurcated for order and chaos. And every time he does it, I keep thinking, well, that's a theory that only works for men, because like, are you saying women don't understand order and chaos? Or
right.
Yeah. So I want to talk to him about that. I think it's an interesting thing to talk about, but I don't know how popular the video will be, though. But I hope it's popular enough that the Marxist professor called out Jordan Peterson, and Jordan Peterson has mentioned him like in half a dozen interviews.
Wolf guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's mentioned him in half a dozen videos now. Like, he's given the Wolf guy all this. And the Wolf guy is just, I mean, I hate calling Harvard professors idiots, but I mean, he's an idiot. Like, how that guy is just crazy.
Right.
Yeah. Dr. Leonard Sachs is not crazy.
So everyone, what time is this going to be?
Well, I'm just recording it tomorrow, so hopefully it'll be up on the channel next week. So.
It's not going to be live?
No, it's going to be recorded, and obviously I'm going to fix any audio issues. We're doing it over Skype because he's more comfortable with Skype, and Skype sometimes I have problems with. There's no way I can do it live. It's
going to be on Thin Club.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, definitely interested to check that out.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting to see what happens. I feel like this interview might be, Mommy and Daddy are fighting. Please make it stop. But it might be good because he knows that I'm a Jordan Peterson fan and a Jonathan Sachs and a Leonard Sachs fan. That don't sound like a fan.
A him fan. You're a fan of him.
Yes. How do you think? I mean, do you think that makes a difference? Like, if you realized, because I mean, he did kind of treat me with kid gloves, like I might be some Jordan Peterson.
Of course, if you're talking to someone who you know is a big fan of you and the things that you've done, but they're also a big fan of someone you don't like, obviously, yeah, you're going to be significantly nicer to them.
Yeah, exactly. So it might work out good, but I
Might
need to
work
put
out.
together like 10, 12 questions. And if you have any questions you want to send me, feel like hook them up, man.
Okay.
I'll
Ask him if he likes the movie Rubber.
Well, that's a given. I ask everyone that.
Okay.
It's so embarrassing when they say, I've never seen the movie. Because then I have to
like,
say,
they're like, is it about condoms? Like, why are you asking this question?
oh,
What's wrong with you?
So we need an outro song so we can so we can cue up the outro movie.
Well, before then, we have Woodchuck00 for $5 says, a music track shouldn't be higher than 20%. It also shouldn't be emotional music. I agree.
No way. Trick them. I'm all for
Recently I've been putting the music like it so low decibels that like you don't even see on like Vegas when I'm editing it, you can't even see like the lines, the volume lines go up.
I've got a couple. I've got my second incel. Clearly, Sir Peter says, clearly Adam is an evangelical sleeper cell. His trigger word is Jordan Peterson. Oh, that's not the one. He called me. I think it was Sir Peppers that made a good incel joke about me. I love it when people make incel jokes.
You're fucking married.
I know. That's why it's hilarious. Adam is just enabling the cooperation of kitty diddling, according to Aaron Raw. What? Come on. Where's my incel? One just rolled past. Adam incel friended right there, Joe M.
There you go. Okay, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Thanks everyone for all your delicious super chats. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed the show, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So does Sitch.
Let us know about how terrible Adam's taste in movies are in the comments below. Okay,
Yes.
Everyone just say, Adam, your taste in movies is garbage.
And when I read that comment, I will regret the fact that I can't block you forever.
Yeah, see, it's on my channel, so you just have Adam angrily typing response to you, knowing that he can't block the comment.
I do respond to some people in your comments. So.
Maybe I'll pin all the comments. I'll heart all the comments and talk about how terrible Adam's movie tastes are.
It's getting bad. I'm only 1,000 subs away from eclipsing you and banishing you to sidekick land. So.
We've talked about this, okay? Sidekick status is a state of mind, okay? The amount of subs you have doesn't matter.
It doesn't feel like a state of mind.
Psychic status is a point of view, Anakin.
I'm fomenting resentment here.
And first of all, you're 2,000 subs away from me, not 1.
What?
Okay.
You're supposed to look.
Straight. Okay, get your facts straight.
I thought it was a state of mind. Now all of a sudden,
as long as I'm ahead, it's not a state of mind.
Now all of a sudden, it's a number. that changed quickly. Okay. Hold on, let's go one more here. One more click. Okay, we're down to 33, guys. Captain America's want to see is down to 33%. I just refreshed. This could be a 32. Let's see here.
Let's see.
Nope.
33.
Right.
Okay.
Happy Oscar.
Well,
watching.
on that note, good night, everyone. I hope you don't watch the Oscars tonight because it's probably really boring, and you'll just wake up tomorrow and see who won and lost.
No, you're going to see Spike Lee.
You're going to see Spike Lee.
You're going to see Spike Lee.
You're going to see Spike Lee cursing. Can you wait? I'm trying to remember. Do people curse in the Oscar speeches?
I mean, it is live television. They usually have a delay, like 30-second delay, so they.
It's because it's on network, right? So they have to bleep it.
And I think it is at the same time. They do it early because it starts at 5, but it's 8 p.m. prime time on the west or the east coast. So yeah, we got.
So prepare for some Spike Lee bleeps on network television.
I'm going to be using my Twitter addiction so let me know as soon as the Spike Lee thing happens. Let me know.
Okay. See you all in the next one.
Take care, everyone.